On day 1, I spawned into the flowering enchanted grove as Sonic the Hedgehog Dragon. Whoa, I'm a crime against nature. I gotta go fast and also be a dragon. I started zooming around the grove while also being a dragon. Only a baby dragon, mind you. Still, a baby Sonic dragon is better than Sonic that isn't a dragon or a dragon that isn't a Sonic. But my musings were interrupted when a giant praying mantis skittered towards me.
Homewrecker!
What? I don't even know you. And how could I wreck a home? I don't even have a wooden pickaxe yet.
I didn't mean it literally, you scaly hedgehog abomination. I had a happy life with my loving husband until you came along and ran right over him. You ruined my life. So now, over the next 100 days, I'm gonna destroy yours.
But I just got this life. And again, I don't know who you are.
You will. Now scram, you little what's-a-mahooit. Go build a life so I can wreck it, just like you wrecked mine.
On it, ma'am. Wait, why am I taking orders from you?
I have the power to compel lesser beings. Get out of here before I decide to end you right now.
Her argument did definitely seem compelling, so I turned and ran away at, well, not quite the speed of sound, but believe me, it wasn't Dragon. Why does that bug have such a bug up her butt about me? I didn't destroy anyone's husband. If I don't solve this mystery before the 100 days runs out, my life is wrecked. On day 2, I emerged from a hiding place near the flowering trees and went to go search for some food. I hope they have my favorite food here in the flowering enchanted grove. And sure enough, under the canopy of one of the trees was a free pork chop, my favorite food. Everyone knows that Sonic the Hedgehog Dragon loves pork chops, and always has. Seconds after I demolished that tasty treat, a gaggle of green humanoids stepped out from the foliage and punched me. They were wave whisperers.
Bro, did you just eat our pork chop? That's so gnarly. And by that I mean, that's a thing we don't like very much and wish you hadn't.
Sorry guys, I just can't resist a good pork chop. Everyone knows that about me.
Well, here's something you should know about us. We're gonna bait you up for the pork chop, and because we heard you killed someone's husband.
I didn't do it! But the wave whisperers didn't listen and started swinging at me with their oddly plant-like limbs. They might have been tougher and meaner than me, but I could run away faster. As I retreated, I also tripped over a... Huh? What are you? Some kind of giant rodent?
Rodent? Excuse your vocabulary. I am Andreas Stevetianus.
In English, please?
Dullard. Now come with me if you want to live.
That, I understand. I followed Andreas Davidius. Yeah, I followed my new friend to the safer part of the grove. On day 3, I accompanied my friend, Andre the Giant, or however you pronounce it, to a small base in a more secluded part of the grove.
Pay attention, young neophyte. Thine may be a Sonic dragon, but thou still have much to learn.
Like what?
Like how to pronounce my name for starters, oaf! But more importantly, thou show all the signs of having encountered a great and twisted evil. I must take you to a trusted associate for evaluation.
Wow, everyone I've met so far is really weird. I wonder if being a Sonic dragon just brings that out in people.
You know you said that out loud, right?
Oh. Not long after, Andy McNabb had escorted me to a cool-looking studio, fit for an equally cool dude.
Here is where I must leave you, for now at least.
Why? Is there some deep, symbolic reason?
No, it can just get a little cramped in there.
I entered and saw Necromancer, strumming away at a cool guitar. Oh my goodness, Necromancer! You're a powerful sorcerer who can bring the dead back to life!
No, that's not who I am anymore. I'm now Necromancer, folk singer-songwriter. I don't want any questions about magic, about raising the dead, or any of that stuff. Keep it to the music, man.
Okay. When's your new album coming out?
That Mantis asked me to bring her husband back to life. Makima Mantis is her name, but much like I told you, I don't do that stuff anymore. I don't even talk about it. Anyways, it's a complex ritual, and I still need to master my EP, so I just didn't have time.
Makima Mantis? That's interesting. So what exactly happened to her husband?
I told you not to ask me about that stuff! Keep it to the music!
Oh, sorry. What gets you inspired to write songs?
Makima Mantis is a deceptive being, and I can tell you probably had no part in her husband's demise. Just be wary. She has many abilities, and will likely use them on you if you're not careful. Keep your friends close, and your enemies far away. It's harder for them to get to you like that.
From day 4 to day 5, I remembered that I had a life to build. Makima Mantis said something about destroying all I had built, so I decided I better get building. She may be my enemy, but a Sonic dragon should never disappoint people. I might get to learn more about what happened to her husband, too. I punched pushed down a tree to gather wood for my first tools. Crafting a wooden pickaxe had to come first, because that would let me get digging in the mines. My pickaxe crushed through the ground, providing me with plenty of sturdy stone material. I think all this stone would be perfect for a sword. I bet nobody has tried that before. Feeling like a genius, I crafted my groundbreaking stone sword and began to show it off to Andrew David. Yeah, the rodent guy. Check out my stone sword, dude. It's radical.
I've seen better. Perhaps you should build a house before you start swinging stone swords around.
You're on. I can build a house. I can build anything, except for things I can't build. With my new revolutionary stone pickaxe and axe, I gathered more wood and stone from the area in preparation for constructing my home. It would be the best place that a Sonic Hedgehog Dragon could ever hope to reside. While searching for materials far and wide, I accidentally fell into a river. There I was swarmed by a group of highly aggressive Picasso triggerfish. Normally I'd be panicking as they chipped away at my health, but I had a stone sword now, so I fought back and defeated them all. Wow, winning feels great. So great, in fact, that I powered up out of baby mode. I now have 20 hearts, and I can make attacks using my dragon calls. Way past cool. But before I forget, let's make ourselves a cozy base. I started to build a lavish base that reflected my inner beauty with a tad of flash, but nothing too flashy. I've never seen myself as an interior designer, but this roof goes really well with the lavender walls. A room here, some walls there. Now that's an aesthetic. From day 6 to day 8, I decided that my journey hadn't been dangerous enough yet, so I hopped through another portal into the Weeping Mire. Wow, this place is horrible. It's great. I decided to explore further, hoping there'd be some cool monsters to fight and some innocents to save. I was half right. In the distance, I saw a screaming crab getting chased around by a terrifying sectoid queen. Looks like I'm not the only one with bug problems. Time to help a brother out. I ran in and faced the sectoid queen one-on-one. She was tough for sure, but with my stone sword and claw attacks, I was soon able to push the horrible creature into the lava where it was burned to a crisp. Haha, saying that will probably scar me for life. After my victory, the crab approached me.
Wuzza, wooza, buzza, booza. That was amazing, pal. How'd you do that?
I just used the inherent strength of my sonic dragon form. Why was that sectoid queen bothering you anyway?
Well, it's a long story, actually. I was minding my own business up in the overworld when suddenly a creeper exploded right next to me. Next thing I knew, I was down here, and a big guy with horns was telling me I'd get chased by a sectoid queen forever as punishment for the things I did in life.
What things did you do in life?
Don't worry about that. Point is, you saved me, and now we can escape this place together.
Heck yeah!
Oi, don't say that here. Actually, come to think of it, I've got a score to settle with an old former work colleague that I did some jobs with. You can help me with that before we escape the mire?
I love helping!
Good kid. You're getting the hang of Omerta already.
From day 9 to day 10, I followed the admittedly kinda sketchy crab further into the heckish waste to take on his bitter old rival.
His name is Puma Concolor, a capo for the Gorgonzola Syndicate, until that big job in Messina went sideways and the skeleton army Valhalla'd him.
Wow, that sounds intense.
It was intense. I feel bad for the guy, but he also has some compromising information about me. I figured if you defeat him down here, it'll completely erase him from all planes of existence, thus sending the information to oblivion with him. You dig?
I think I went forward until I came upon Puma Concolor, who turned out to be a huge, tough cougar. Oh no, I can see why it took an army of skeletons to take you down in the overworld.
Yes, and that was before I bonded my spirit to the mire and developed a whole bunch of new powers, like this.
He blasted a fireball at me and decimated my heart. There was no way I could beat him in this state. I ran back to the crab. Crab, I can't beat him yet. Come back to my place. We'll train there together.
But Zozo, how will we escape the mire?
Somehow. From day 11 to day 12, I somehow made it back to the overworld in one piece. With the crab in tow, I returned to the base and decided it was best for me to stay home for a while. I wanted to focus on less life-threatening things, like home decor.
This is a pretty nice place you've got here, Zozo. It would be a shame if something happened to it.
Something will happen to it. A praying mantis lady said that she would destroy it.
She did? Well then, what are you putting so much work into it for?
Well, Crab, I may not have been around for that long, but I know that life is all about putting 100% of your effort into everything you do, even if you know that it's all doomed to be destroyed in front of you dramatically.
You're gonna go far, kid. You go see to building my accommodations. I got some ideas of my own. There's gonna be some big changes around here, Zozo. Big changes.
You said big changes twice.
That's how big big they are.
While I built a room fit for a crab, I looked forward to the big changes that would surely be added to the house. And big they were! There was a training room for all of my athletic training needs, and since I was a Sonic Dragon, most of my needs were athletic related.
But that's not all, Zozo. We've got central heating now.
Crab showed me to the furnace room, which was one more big change that I could agree with. Thanks for the sweet furnace, Crab.
The pleasure is all mine. You know, furnaces come in handy for a lot of different things, Zozo. Don't worry about it.
Rather than ponder the implications of the crab's statement, I went down to the mines in search of some iron. Finding it was easy enough, and soon I ditched my stone pickaxe in favor of an iron one. With a bit more iron, I was able to create more iron ingots and make them into a sword. There was one more other big change I needed to attend to thank Crab for all of his services. I built a pool and filled it with cob to eat. No, not corn on the cob, just cob. As in the fish. From day 13 to day 15, I realized that I still needed to get stronger. But I didn't know how to get stronger, and while I had a cool training room, personal trainers weren't easy to come by. Instead, I did the next big thing, going to talk to the Andalorian about it.
That is not my name, knave!
That may or may not be true, Andy, but how do you think I can get stronger?
How can a man become stronger? He needeth a rugged environment to cultivate his inner strength. He needs to face worthy opponents. And most importantly, he needs chemical assistance to reach his full potential, even if it's got to be banned from the 1996 overall bodybuilding competition.
We're still talking about me, right?
Go to the Mojave Desert, Zozo. You will find strength, or at the very least, a lot of sand. Over there!
So I did exactly what he said, and ventured out into the unforgiving heat of the Mojave Desert. There, I knew I'd find some worthy opponents, or at least a pretty tough wave whisperer and his friends.
Wow, totally tubular, Dudenheimer. Isn't that the freak of nature that smoked Miss Mackama's husband? Well, you've gotta, totally beat him up, man. She's really torn up about this whole thing.
But I didn't do it, I swear! Why do you always trust everything she says?
She saved all of our lives once. I'm pretty sure. She stopped my house from burning down. She saved Steve's dog from a tree. And she performed first aid when Larry passed out that one time. Clearly, she's in the right, and you're in the wrong. If somebody did a nice thing for us, they can't have done a bad thing to somebody else. That'd be gnarly, in the bad way. Again.
It was clear these guys didn't listen to reason, so with my sword and my claws, I took them all on. They had the numbers, and I had the power, just like I predicted. And once they were defeated, they dropped a special potion, chemical assistance, just like the Andes mountain range said. I drank it immediately and felt my power growing. My hearts grew to 40, and I developed a new power, lightning breath. I'm stronger than ever! And to make things better, I now could fly! From day 16 to day 19, I seem to have taken a wrong turn somewhere and found myself in the desolate and ominous mangrove swamp. Am I the only one here? It must be because I'm much braver than anyone who isn't a Sonic Dragon. As I wandered through this strange muddy biome, I came upon a mysterious notebook, mysteriously left right in the middle of my path. How mysterious? I mean, I came all the way out here, might as well read it. I picked up the book and peered inside. Whoever finds this, please, you need to be super duper careful and stuff. Makama Mantis isn't telling the truth about what happened to her family. She's got the wrong person, and she knows it. Oh no, I think she's listening in on me. Oh no, the wave whisperers are here. Ah, please don't beat me up. I'm but a weak nerd with a notebook. No! Man, it seemed like that guy was in a whole lot of trouble.
Well, my righteous bros. What have we here? Is that Zozo Sonic, the Destroyer the Dragon?
You said all the words to describe me. Not sure about the order, but yeah, it's me.
Get him! Beat him up without mercy! For Miss Makama!
The wave whisperers surrounded me, but I was able to repel them with my claws. I backed up and drew my iron sword. Then, I proceeded to wail on them with lightning breaths. True to the name, they were knocked back, and then they were knocked out. From day 20 to day 22, I was in a mining cavern for some reason. I don't even remember how I got there. I hope this isn't a symptom of some kind of serious health issue. Anyway, let's get some more. With the help of my iron pickaxe, I ored and I ored until I couldn't stand it no more, filling my inventory with enough raw iron for a new armor piece. I returned to the base, where I used the useful yet oddly sinister furnace that the crab had created to smelt it into ingots, then made an iron chestplate, which was fashionable as well as protective. It's time to settle an old score. Well, not really one of my old scores, but one of the crabs, which is basically the same thing. Through mysterious methods and processes, I returned to the Weeping Mire. It was time to take on the powerful entity known known as Puma Concolor, the Het Cougar.
You never should have come here. You really think you can defeat me? A level 7 Mire Maven?
I'm not even gonna try and unpack that wild world building. I'm here to erase you.
Then let's stop yapping and start fighting.
Fireballs! Fireballs everywhere! This level 7 Mire Maven wasn't going to give up. But neither was I. Using my knockback charged attacks, I struck him until he fell for one of the Weeping Mire's creepy spires, landing directly in the waiting fires and fulfilling the crab's desires. Bars! But all was not well elsewhere. Over at Makima Mantis's base, a new diabolical plan was brewing.
Yes! It seems that Zozo is progressing nicely. He's building a good little life for himself. That'll make it all the more sweet when I destroy it.
From day 23 to day 26, I informed the crab that his former enemy, Puma Concolor, was now Puma gone no more. He's gone is what I'm trying to say.
You've done a good thing for me, Zozo. Good in the grand scheme of the universe? Who could say? But certainly good for me.
I'm a bona fide legend at getting rid of people, even though I didn't do that to Makima's husband.
Who can say, kid? Who can say?
Before I knew what happened, I was in the mining cavern again. Whoa, being a sonic dragon is full of surprises. My body seems to move faster than my mind sometimes. Well, you know what they say. All's well that ends well. With the next bunch of iron ore that I was able to gather, I smelted enough ingots to craft an iron helmet, boots, and leggings, which I then equipped because why wouldn't I? I returned to the overworld and saw that the crab had built a whole kitchen to add onto the base. It was awesome. Whoa, thanks, crab. You're honestly such a giving dude.
A certain other crab I once lived with didn't seem to think so, but she's been out of her life for a while now, so it's all hunky-dory.
Don't you mean out of your life?
Yeah, sure. What did I say?
From day 27 to day 31, I decided to once again return to the mangrove swamp because I found myself pining for its muddy floor and sinister atmosphere. One thing I didn't expect was to find a fully grown Gyarados in some sort of muck brick dungeon.
Yo, it's Zozo, the Sonic Hedgehog Dragon. I can't believe this.
Oh, so you're not gonna try and fight me?
Are you kidding? We're both from nostalgic 90s video game and cartoon IPs. Birds of a feather, my man. By the way you messed up those wave whispers when you were here earlier? Textbook, man. Textbook.
Thank you. It's really nice to be appreciated.
I was hoping, if it wasn't too much trouble, you could, train me. I totally understand if not, though.
No, man. By all means, head back to my base and I'll meet you there. Makima Mantis told me I needed to develop a full life before she came back and wrecked it. And having someone who looks up to me that she can destroy to hurt me emotionally later is perfect for that.
Sweet. Last one to the base is a rotten egg.
Before I left, I asked Gyarados for some special materials that Andor Trankin could use to improve the base in one of his little construction projects, and he gave me a bunch of mud bricks.
Excellent work, Zozo. As you can see, I've already put all of the resources you've gathered to good use.
I went and saw that Androgyny had created a bunker buried underneath my base. Wow, I guess this could be useful if ever there's some kind of nuclear event. From day 32 to day 35, I rushed back to the Necromancer's neck of the woods with San Andreas fault line. He moved pretty fast for a big rodent-looking thing. Androckles, are you also part Sonic or part Dragon?
Now is not the time for taxonomy, my implausibly chimeric friend. The Necromancer is in danger, and not just because his album is not selling well.
Then I'd better pick up the pace. I zoomed ahead, leaving Android Dream of Electric Sheep in the dust. I was nearly to the place where we had met the Necromancers, but I could sense something was horribly off. Something smells like seawater and tanning lotion. Oh no, the Wave Whisperers! As soon as I sensed them, they appeared like a wave of Wave Whisperers.
Ciao, bro. We owe you a beating, and we're here to pay our dues.
Where's the Necromancer?
He's surfing the big wave. The big wave, ciao.
You said big wave twice.
It's that big Deuterino. He's a goner. Ciao.
It couldn't be true. I used my iron sword to slice through the Wave Whisperers like an iron sword through Wave Whisperers. Beyond the group of gnarly Charlies, I found the Necromancer. He was truly not long for this world. I could tell by the way he was lying on the ground, dying.
It was a good tour, Zozo. It's over now. I'm playing my last song.
Necromancer, wait! Why can't you use your magic to bring yourself back?
I told you already, Zozo. I don't do that anymore. Apparently, Makima Mantis couldn't accept that. Like I said, it was a good run.
He was gone. Makima! From day 36 to day 39, I couldn't help but go back to the Weeping Mire. Maybe the loss of the necromancer made me want to take more risks just to feel something. When the going gets tough, the tough get going to the Weeping Mire. For some reason, that's when a mysterious figure with a long-beaked mask emerged.
I too do things out of absolute boredom. You might say I'm a free thinker like that.
Who are you?
I'm me wherever I'll be. I'm Dr. Plague Doctor, and I got 2 degrees in opinionology, so expect some takes so hot, only the Weeping Mire could handle them.
Wow, you're like incredibly cool. But are you though?
Who told you I wasn't? The zombie horse. That guy is always stepping on my free expression. I'll give you some free medical advice if you want to go deal with him.
Well, I do have some memory trouble. I'll do it.
You said I'll do it twice.
Did I? I quested through the Weeping Mire until I found the infamous, at least according to Dr. Plague Doctor, zombie horse. Claws out. Let's do this. The zombie horse was tough, but my time in the Weeping Mire had taught me how to fight mire mavens, and he couldn't have been higher than a level 6. Soon enough, I had won the battle and returned to Dr. Plague Doctor to tell the good doctor the good news.
Whee! Excellent! I'll diagnose you with free thought.
Okay, but what about my memory?
What's to say there? If you didn't remember something, it didn't happen.
I see. So if I don't remember destroying Makima Mantis' husband, it must have been somebody else. From day 40 to day 43, I returned to the base from that weirdly inconsequential quest from that Plague Doctor guy. Oh wow, is that a pantry? It's full of delicious food. I must have made this place in my sleep. That's when Andromeda Galaxy popped out, looking annoyed at me.
'Twas me who built this place, you dolt, and for good reason, too. A number of my fellow Andres Davidiani will be arriving at this base post-haste, so there's no time to waste in sprucing up the place.
Okay, jeez. No need to bite my head off, Andalusia. Not long after that, a whole bunch of those weird rodent thingies arrived and just sort of hung out around my base, eating my food and taking up space in my pool. Yeah, I don't think I'd be that mad if Makima Mantis came over and destroyed all these guys. Before I could dwell anymore on those morbid thoughts, Gyarados came rushing over to me in a blind panic.
Zozo, I made a terrible mistake. I was so eager to come over here. I left a bunch of my mystical diamonds in the mangrove swamp. Whatever shall I do, bruh?
Don't worry, Gary. I'll go there and get them myself. From day 44 to day 49, I traveled through the mangrove swamp in search of the mystical diamonds that Gyarados had left behind. Not the place I'd choose to lose a bunch of diamonds, but then again, I'm not a water-type Pokemon that evolves from Magikarp.
You're also not an innocent hedgehog dragon. Yeah, whatever you are.
It was Makima, and she looked like more of a menacing mantis than ever.
I have been watching you, Zozo. I've seen you build a respectable homestead and gather close friends who live there with you. I hope you haven't forgotten that I'm going to bring it all down, crashing down to heck.
Lay off me, will ya? I know I didn't destroy your husband, so you should have no reason to do that thing with my life, and you destroying my life.
We'll see who destroys who. Ostrich, come forth.
As Makima Mantis vanished into the mists of the swamp, a regular old ostrich sprinted towards me, ready for a pitched battle.
Let's dance, Zozo the Sonic Hedgehog the Dragon. And by dance, I mean fight. And by fight, I mean say your prayers, because I'm gonna destroy you alone.
He was fast, but so was I. Our high-speed battle began as we ran around each other and landed blow after blow. This might have been the most powerful opponent I'd ever faced, or maybe not. Who could really say? From day 50 to day 53, my battle with the ostrich continued.
The legends about you are true, Zozo. You've proven more than a worthy opponent. But do you know what I do to worthy opponents? I oppose them until they're completely destroyed.
And oppose me? He did. The fight was a tactical smorgasbord, blades and claws and feathers flying everywhere. But in the end, an ostrich is just one thing, and Zozo the Sonic the Hedgehog Dragon is like 3 things. He never stood a chance against me. Sorry, Ozzy, I was only using 1% of my power. When I actually started trying, I annihilated him instantly, and he dropped the mystical diamonds I'd come to pursue. Don't worry, Gary, you'll be iced up soon enough. From day 54 to day 57, I gave the mystical diamonds to Gyarados, but something was definitely wrong because he started to go totally berserk. Gyarados, what's gotten into you? Then I remembered those diamonds had been dropped by the ostrich, who was in cahoots with Makima, who definitely could have done something weird and sneaky to them.
Zozo, you'll pay for destroying Miss Makima's husband. This is the thing I care about most in the world now, despite the fact that you're my hero.
Yep, he's definitely brainwashed. I need to fight him to return to normal, but I can't go all out or he might be seriously hurt. I used my sword instead of my claws to reduce the damage. Gyarados had some strong attacks, but he wasn't a real dragon type, so I was still way cooler and stronger. It was a long struggle, but I was able to wear him down enough to make him tired. Now it was my chance to reason with him. Gyarados, it's me. Come back to your senses.
Must destroy for Makima.
Come on, Gary. What's more important to you? Being devoted to Makima or having friends? That snapped him out of it. Whatever spell had been cast over the mystical diamonds had worn off. The fight was done, and my friend was safe. How are you feeling, Gary?
Dude, Zozo, that was incredible. You saved me. I always knew that you didn't destroy anyone's husband, and the fact that Makima Mantis has resorted to brainwashing probably means that she knows you didn't either.
I reckon you're right. From day 58 to day 62, after baking some pastries and a pie, I decided to make some improvements to the base to lift all of our spirits after that weird incident with Gyarados. What always makes me feel better when I'm feeling down, other than my trademark favorite food, pork chops? Oh, I know, flowers! I spent the rest of the day lovingly cultivating a flower garden, which I figured would improve everyone's mood. The next day, speaking of improving, I decided it was time to upgrade my gear once again. It was really lucky that I mysteriously woke up in another mining cavern. This always happens at the most convenient times. I'm not even mad. Using my iron pickaxe, I dug up a bunch of diamonds, and not mystical cursed diamonds this time, legit diamonds. I went back to my base and crafted myself a diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword. Oh yeah, I'm so excited. Soon after that, Andy Dufresne approached, looking typically annoyed at me.
Zozo, I've built a new base upgrade, one vital for you in particular. Look ahead, boy.
I looked behind Audrey and looked that he'd added an impressive library to the base. It was one of the coolest I've ever seen. Wow, that's one heck of a library.
Yes, I built it just for you, so you can finally get educated.
Thanks, that's weirdly backhanded, but I appreciate having a cool library anyway. From day 63 to day 66, the mining cavern called to me once more. I was getting used to hanging out down here, even when I wasn't mining. Yeah, what's mine is mine, and what's mine, is also mine. That's when the crab, who seemed to have been burying something down here, approached me.
Zozo, what are you doing down here? Get out of here. Go make yourself useful.
Should I go back to the Weeping Mire?
No, nobody is going back to the Weeping Mire. You should take a trip to somewhere more calm and peaceful like. How about them there plains?
I don't know. They sound kind of plain.
That they are, but you'd be surprised what you can find there. Or more crucially, not find there.
The crab seemed oddly insistent about the plains, so I made the trek out to the biome in record time. I don't think I've ever been in a place so peaceful. Then I saw it. A strange mob I'd never seen before striding towards me. I braced for the battle that I knew was coming.
Oh, hello! Welcome to the plains. I hope you enjoy your stay here. If there's anything I can do for you, just ask. I'm a Strider.
Or not. I guess this place really was calm and peaceful. I appreciate the hospitality, Strider, but is there anything I can do for you?
Oh, good God, gosh. I'd hate to impose, but there is this one thing.
You name it, Strider. You're like the friendliest creature in the entire overworld, and even though I just met you, I would fight anything to make sure you were happy.
Yay! Follow me. The quest is this way.
From day 67 to day 70, the Strider led me through the plains toward the quest, which I just knew had to be epic and awesome.
We're almost there. Not everyone can keep stride with me. You're doing great.
I'm many things, but slow isn't one of them. Strider is practically my middle name.
Wowie zowie! Does this make us related?
I kinda hope not. My family tree must be crazy enough already. Soon enough, we came upon a stone crater wherein crouched a particularly mean-looking toad.
That's a warped toad. He has pushed me over every day for almost 70 days now, and I've told him to stop every day. Can you make him stop?
I'll do my best. I've never faced a warped creature before. What was he warped by?
He's just warped, you know? Like in terms of his ideals, that are incredibly twisted.
Oh, so he's like a free thinker?
No, more like a jerk.
Ah, yeah, that's no good. I'll have to take him out. That toad may have been warped, but now he was history. He dropped a strange item called a warped muscle. I decided to hang on to it, but wasn't entirely sure why. Defeated is the monster.
Yippee! You're a hero, Zozo!
You know, you're the first person to call me that, as far as I can remember.
This world is full of bad things, Zozo. Mire mavens, plague doctors, oh, and mantises who eat their mates. Can't forget those. The point is, heroes are needed.
Plague doctors are bad.
You may have missed the point there, but okay, thank you for your help.
From day 71 to day 74, I continued exploring the plains, which were a little plain, but also way nicer than all the nightmare dimensions I'd been hanging out in lately. No wonder I keep getting jumped. I hang around bad neighborhoods. But you know what isn't a bad neighborhood? The Zozo fandom! Do yourself a favor and after this video, type ZOZO for more banger vids, yo! That's when the ground started rumbling, followed by a huge explosion, which left a massive crater in the floor, leading down into the darkness. Whoa! And in a completely unrelated series of events, Makima Mantis also turned up. Did you cause that huge explosion, Makima Mantis?
No! I think it was a burst gas man or something. We're both lucky neither of us was hurt, because now I'm gonna hurt you myself! I will finally have vengeance for my Mantis husband!
Wait, Mantis husband? That reminds me of something Strider said!
I'm a Strider.
No, that other thing!
This world is full of bad things, Zozo. Mire mavens, plague doctors, oh, and mantises who eat their mates. Eat their mates.
Eat their mates.
Can't forget those.
That's it! I didn't destroy your husband! You ate your own husband, and then altered the memories in your mind so you wouldn't have to feel bad about it!
No! No! You're a liar! I'd never eat my husband! He was my whole world! He was kind, and smart, and delicious! No! No! Impossible! I refuse to believe it!
But it's the tragic truth, Makima Mantis!
You're just trying to put ideas in my head! For this, I'll destroy you extra hard!
She came at me, and despite my diamond gear and all my powers, her strength was still massively above mine. In the end, there was no choice but to turn and flee. I can't keep going on like this. There has to be some kind of way I can defeat this husband-munching evildoer. From day 75 to day 78, I was feeling pretty depressed after running away from Makima Mantis, so I went into my room to have a private brood about it. Even though the mystery of her husband's destruction was solved, she's still going to hurt other people. I thought I could stop her with information, but it seems like overwhelming victory in combat is the only way. And I'm just too weak. Shortly after my inner monologue, Gyarados showed up at my door and entered the room.
Zozo, what are you doing? We've got to stop Makima Mantis. You're acting more like Shadow the Hedgehog Dragon right now.
I just don't know what would make me feel better, other than seeing a brand new storage room in our base.
Buddy, do I have something to show you?
Gyarados brought me to a brand new storage room, and it was every bit as awesome as I thought it was. Thanks, Gary. This is even cooler than way past cool.
You're welcome, Zozo.
Just then, Anthropomorphic Dinosaur burst into the room, holding the warped muscle.
Salutations, plebeians! I have gathered data and run schematics on the warped muscle and used the power of science to draw out its latent potential. If Zozo eats it now, he'll be able to achieve untold levels of awesomeness.
I gobbled up the warped muscle, and it warped me into a cool guy. I was supersonic tough and had 100 hearts, as well as a lightning dragon fireball technique. I am forever changed by this warped muscle. From day 79 to day 84, I decided to use my awesome new size and power to annihilate some birds that were looking at me funny. Specifically, some macaws in a tree out in the plains. Eat my fire! I blasted fireballs until there was nothing but charred feathers. I felt kind of bad about it, but it had to be done. Maybe. After that act of wholesale bird slaughter, I continued wandering until I found a mammoth, just chilling.
Aye, bro. I was just here, contemplating the universe and junk. Ever think about how butterflies and moths are basically the same thing, but we love one and hate the other?
That's true. Darn. It's like how the true gauge of friendship is how much you feel the need to clean your place before they come over.
That's so deep, dude. Yeah, I have this diamond helmet. It doesn't even fit my big weird mammoth head anyway.
Oh, awesome. This will come in really handy. From day 85 to day 89, I noticed that the base had recently been damaged by some kind of enemy attack, and even more recently, was currently under attack by the Wave Whisperers. Guys, the mystery was solved. How long are you going to keep bugging me about what Makima Mantis did to her own husband?
Not cool, bruh. Framing a widow for destroying her husband in the first place? You must have eaten some warped muscle to have a strange outlook like that.
Sure I did, but what's your point? Lightning Dragon Fireball! I shot out a gigantic blast of dragon fire that sent the Wave Whisperers running and screaming for the hills. That did it. How to chase after them and politely tell each one that they've misread the situation. I'm sure they'll listen to my side of the story now that I have lightning dragon fireballs. On my way to intercept the Wave Whisperers, I ran across a green anaconda while I was still in the flowering enchantment grove.
Come out, friends. Where are you?
Excuse me, Anaconda, did you just say you lost your friends?
Why, yes. My friends are a healthy and tasteful family of rabbits. Have you seen them?
Now that you mention it, I did see a rabbit burrow a few paces that way.
Many thanks. See you around the mire.
The green anaconda slithered off to find his friends. It feels good to do a good deed. From day 90 to day 94, I continued my relentless chase all the way from the flowering enchanted grove to the plains. Man, the stamina on these wave whisperers is crazy. How come they're able to outrun someone with the power of both Sonic and a dragon?
CrossFit, dude!
When we eventually came to a stop, I realized we were standing right outside Magma Mantis's tower.
It's over now, Zozo, my dude. We've got the home turf advantage. You can't even hope to.
I annihilated them with a fireball without a second thought. Now I've just got this feeling I'm gonna be totally safe forever.
Not so fast, which is what you are.
I turned and saw with horror a terrible creature that was half dragon and half chicken. Only a group as maniacal as the British could come up with that.
It is I, Calvin Cockatrice, Magma Mantis's best and closest friend.
Wait, you are? How come she's never mentioned you?
What? Of course she hasn't mentioned me to a creature as lowly as you, Zozo. We're so close, we tell each other secrets. She definitely doesn't just call me over when she has a really strong enemy she needs me to fight. Our friendship is real.
And that was how my toughest battle yet began. From day 95 to day 97, the struggle against Calvin Cockatrice continued and was starting to get absurdly personal.
You're not even that fast. I've seen you run.
Sticks and stones, Calvin. I'm above insulting goofy-looking chickens like you.
Oh yeah? Well, you're not even fast.
You keep saying that.
Because it doesn't stop being true.
Calvin Cockatrice blasted me with a wither skull that I dodged because, contrary to what he says, I am actually pretty fast. I fired back with a lightning dragon fireball, which he didn't dodge because he couldn't dodge, because he was the one who wasn't fast after all. We moved into melee range, Sonic Dragon Claws and Cockatrice Claws colliding in the craziest clash of the century. The armor pieces were breaking. I lost my boots, then my chest plate. But cleverly and conclusively, I cleaned his clock and won. To say it not in alliteration.
You owned me, Zozo. Now Magma Mantis is going to think I'm a loser.
I think she already does, my dude. You might as well give me some information on how to take her down. If you're truly her friend, you'd know all her weaknesses, right?
And betray my bestest friend in the whole wide world? I'd rather leap headfirst into the weeping mire.
She's so evil, and yet you'd do anything for her. I think I'm starting to understand the extent of her manipulation. I feel bad for you, and worse for her husband.
Hey, he had a good run.
So did you. Adios! I released one last ball of dragon fire and blew Calvin Cockatrice to the weeping mire. On day 98, I returned to the base for one last time, just to hear what everyone had to say to me before the final fight with liar, manipulator, and husband eater extraordinaire, Magma Mantis. First, Gyarados.
I forgot I was in this video.
Then, my good old friend, Andor, now available on Disney+.
Shame, Zozo. I thought by the end of this tale, you'd finally have gotten my name right as a show of character development.
What can I say, Andy Griffith? You can never predict what I'm gonna do. I began to dance, just to rub it in. And finally, the crab.
Have fun destroying that Mantis, Zozo. If any arthropod had to be sent back to the mire today, I'd rather it be her.
With those inspiring words echoing through the halls of my heart, I set off for Magma Mantis's hideout. On day 99, I arrived at the tower and took a closer look at it. I realized it looked quite abandoned. Still, I had to get in. I walked up to the entrance and noticed it was being guarded by a small squadron of wave whisperers.
We're gonna destroy that Zozo Gazuni, then knock off to go shred some gnarly pounders, dude. And I mean, gnarly in the good sense this time.
I was devastated. How could I beat a squadron of hopped-up surf monkeys and still have the energy to destroy Magma Mantis too? I should have had more carbohydrates for breakfast. That would have given me the exact kind of slow-release energy necessary for a situation like this. But I had something else that's also necessary in a situation like this. The help of a friend. Strider came striding out of the tall grass, ready to put his life on the line so I could make my own life easier.
I'll distract them, Zozo. Then you go in there and take out that villain once and for all.
But those wave whisperers look so strong, Strider, and you don't even have arms.
Don't worry, Zozo. I have an ingenious plan. I'm going to block all their blows with my face and body.
Okay, we can try that, I guess. Strider ran in valiantly, and the wave whisperers totally creamed him. I mean, the poor guy got absolutely bodied, and I felt bad watching, but there were bigger fish to squeeze. While Strider was beaten into submission, I ran in to deliver the goods. On day 100, I busted into the tower and steeled myself for the showdown with the Mantis, the myth, the legend, Magma Mantis.
Zozo!
There comes a time for us to have our final battle, and that time is now.
I couldn't agree more. I'm about to do to you what I totally didn't do to my husband.
You're going to let me live a full and fulfilling life with each day more meaningful than the last?
I said what I didn't do, fool! I'm going to destroy you!
I disagree, but whatever. Let's do this! The battle began with a claw-to-claw smackdown, which was fairly even between the two of us. I managed to knock her off the tower, but she wasn't defeated yet. Her praying mantis claws had a slightly longer range than mine, so backing up would mean I'd get hit more. But I knew I still had my speed, so I dodged extra fast and got out of her reach. Then I unleashed the lightning breath, followed by another lightning breath. And just for good measure, a third lightning breath. I waited for the static to dissipate and saw that Makuma Mantis was still standing and ready to charge straight for me. I only have one shot. Here goes nothing. My fourth lightning dragon fireball shot forward and was a direct hit on Makuma Mantis. That one did it, and she was burned up in the Dragon Flame Inferno. At long last, I was cleared of having destroyed one Mantis by destroying another.
On day 1, I spawned in as a baby dragon. Whoa, I'm no ordinary dragon. I'm a Warden dragon. I opened my mouth and shot out some dragon breath, then shot off a sonic boom. They were both pretty weak, but still cool. That's when I noticed a nearby ender dragon and Warden. Hey, I have the same powers as you guys. You must be my parents. My mom and dad were excited to see me, and everything was happy. But suddenly, a big buff evil Steve came out of nowhere.
What's this? A warden and a dragon combined? I already hate dragons, but a dragon combined with a warden is even worse.
Run, Zozo. We'll hold him off.
I wanted to help, but she was right. I was too weak. As I watched the battle, I saw that Buff Steve was able to destroy my dad. No, how can he be so powerful? Buff Steve then captured my mom. I had to hurry away.
You get back over here, or your mom will never be free.
Don't worry about me. Run to a portal and destroy it behind you.
I listened to my mother like any good boy should and ran away before Buff Steve could capture me. I ran into a nether portal to escape. On day 2, I came teleporting through a nether portal, landing in the overworld. I turned and shot off my sonic boom, destroying the portal behind me. I don't know how much time that buys me, but I have to get stronger to save my mom. If I was going to save my mom, I had to get the gear to do it. Using my claws, I began gathering up some nearby materials in order to build a base. I don't need anything fancy yet, I just need something that can keep me safe. Speaking of being safe, I was suddenly attacked by a bear. Get back! I have claws too! But trying to win this fight was foolish. I had no choice but to run. Oh boy, it looks like the overworld is just as dangerous as the nether. I kept running until I found myself on a nice, steep mountain. If I hollow this place out, this could make for a perfect base. Excited with the idea, I got right to it, building my base. I have so many ideas of how I can improve it, but we'll start simple for now. Soon, the start of the base was ready. I feel like it's going pretty good so far. Tomorrow will bring me one step closer to saving my mom. On day 3, I kept mining down into the mountain when I popped out on the other side. But as luck would have it, there was something unexpected. Is that an ender dragon nest? It looked like there was an egg inside of it too. Just then, a phantom appeared. He got closer to the egg. He was going to eat it. Oh no you don't, the dragons are my friends! The phantom clearly didn't expect anyone to be here, and I was able to hit him hard. In no time, I managed to take him out. Finally, it feels good not to run away for once. And what's this? The phantom had dropped some phantom skin, which I picked up. With it gone, I was able to get really close to the egg. That's when I saw there was a note nearby. My dear child, if you are reading this, then something has happened to me. I was setting out in search of food for us. It is very likely that a powerful being called Steve may come after us. He collects powerful creatures like us dragons. Take care and stay safe. Oh no, it's not just me. Dragons everywhere are in trouble. It's not enough to just save my mom from Buff Steve. I'm going to have to defeat him. I quickly picked up the egg to take it back to my base. I could keep it safe there. On days 4 to 5, I arrived back at my base. I got right to work building an incubator for the egg. If it was going to hatch safely, it needed a good environment to thrive in. Just as I finished up, I heard a noise outside. I ran out and saw even more phantoms. Oh man, you guys really want this egg! Well, just try and take it. The phantoms did their best to take me out, but they were no match for me. They would have to try harder than that if they wanted to win. With the 2 phantoms defeated, I picked up the phantom skin they had dropped. Oh, I know just what to make with this! I went over to my crafting table and used the phantom skin to make myself some phantom skin armor. It was about as strong as leather armor, but it would be better than nothing. On days 6 to 8, I was starting to get hungry and decided to go look for food. I was a little nervous about leaving the egg behind, but if I couldn't get food, then no one would be able to protect it. I soon came across a village. Hi there, please, do you have any food to spare? The villagers took one look at me and ran away. I guess they weren't used to meeting friendly dragons, or friendly wardens for that matter. Well, no one is around, so bon appetit. I got right to work attacking the animals around. Sure, it felt bad to hurt other animals, but hey, a dragon's gotta eat. And there's no way I was going to eat a salad.
At last, I found you!
I looked and saw Buff Steve standing there. This time he had on dragon armor. He was even stronger than before. You, what do you want?
Isn't it obvious? You!
He clearly wasn't in the mood to chat, and I had no choice but to fight. I started swinging, but it was clear he was too strong.
Looks like you're all mine.
I saw a window to escape, and I took it. I had to get out of there, and fast.
You might have slipped away this time, but mark my words, I'll find you.
He was probably right, but today was not that day. On days 9 to 10, I had made it back to my base. That's when I heard a noise coming from the incubator. Oh no, the egg is in trouble! I ran into the room to find the egg was still there, but it was hatching. Suddenly, a small baby ender dragon climbed out.
Are you my mom?
Who, me? No, I'm Zozo.
Oh, so where's my mom?
I'm not sure, but she left this note in your nest. It was there when I found you, and then I brought you here to keep you safe. The little dragon read the note. I guess being able to read was a gift us dragons get at birth.
I see. I wish I could have just stayed in my egg. It's sad out here.
Hey, it's okay. There's a lot of cool things to do in the world too.
Really? Like what?
I thought about it for a moment, then told her to follow me. I instructed her to mine out a big room in the mountain because we were going to build a cool statue. I wanted to be sure we built it out of sight though, so Buff Steve wouldn't be able to find our base. The little dragon seemed to really enjoy the creative process and was much happier as we finished the first part. This is a good start, but do you have any guesses as to what it's going to be? I then got to work building her a room to stay in. I knew how hard it was to get your mom taken away from you, so I wanted to be sure she was happy and comfortable. Soon, her room was completed too. On days 11 to 12, the little dragon came out of her room to chat.
Hey Zozo, what's my name?
Oh, I guess you were born yesterday and could probably use one of those. How about Sivith?
Sivith? Yeah, that sounds cool. Oh, and Zozo?
Yeah, Sivith?
I'm hungry.
Oh, right. Hang tight. I'll get both of us something to eat. I went out into the land to try and find some crows to eat. After a bit of searching, I spotted a few. As I got closer though, I spotted a human nearby. Oh no, it's Steve! I went to run away when they called out to me.
Wait, little dragon!
That's when I realized it wasn't Buff Steve. I waited until they got a little closer.
Hey, don't worry. I'm not here to hurt you like Steve. My name is Alex.
What do you want?
I want to help you. Steve and I used to be friends, but not anymore.
What happened?
Steve and I used to adventure together, along with our friend Brianna. One day we were exploring the Nether and came across the Nether Dragon. The dragon didn't mind us being there until Brianna decided to mess with the dragon's eggs. There's something magical about them, and Brianna got too close. The Nether Dragon destroyed her as the three of us tried to escape. I was sad, but Steve was angry. He vowed to take revenge on all dragons. He finds them and locks them away in his base as revenge. Through this, he has become stronger, but more evil, turning into what he is today. I feel like it's my responsibility to stop him.
Thank you for sharing that with me. He captured my mom and my friend's mom. If we team up, we can stop him.
Yes, I was thinking that as well. Although, I think it's important for me to keep searching for more dragons, so I can warn them about Steve. But here, take this horn. If you ever need to talk to me, you can use this.
I took the horn and thanked her for her help. Maybe we could defeat him after all. On days 13 to 15, I continued looking for food as I thought about everything Alex had told me. Oh no, it's that bear again! I have to fight him off, otherwise I might not be able to find more food for days. I was stronger now, so I charged in to fight. The bear was still really strong and really packed a punch. But everyone was counting on me. I couldn't lose. I kept swinging and finally took him out. What's this? I feel so much more powerful. Suddenly, I leveled up, growing in size and gaining more hearts. Whoa, I feel amazing! If I keep growing like this, maybe I can actually stop Buff Steve. I quickly gathered up the chickens and started leading them back to the base. On days 16 through 19, I arrived back at the base with the chickens. I got right to work building a coop for them to live in. Once the coop was complete, I went over to Sivith to tell her about the chickens, and also Alex.
This Alex sounds really nice, but I do have one question about everything you told me.
What's that?
Why are we eating eggs? Dragons come out of eggs too, so that seems kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It's different. Try not to think about it too much. I left Sivith to think about life and got to work building a mine. I might be able to grow in strength, but I can also build strength by making better armor and weapons. Speaking of which, I found some iron. Oh, perfect! I can finally get rid of my leather armor. This is great! Back in the base, I smelted down all of the iron, then used the iron to make myself a fresh set of armor and weapons. I'm feeling better already. On days 20 to 22, I woke up with a bad feeling in my stomach. I went to Sivith's room and saw she was missing. Sivith? Sivith, where are you? Just then, I heard another sound. It was the horn Alex had given me. She was calling me. I ran out of the base toward the sound. Maybe Alex knew what had happened to her. Soon, I saw Alex. What's going on?
Zozo, I called for you as soon as I could. I caught sight of Steve. He was chasing a baby dragon. That's not your friend, right?
I don't know. It might be. She wasn't in her room this morning.
Oh no. I'm not strong enough to face Steve yet, but I'll tell you where you need to go.
Alex explained where she saw them, and I hurried off. I soon got to the place Alex described and saw Steve was about to capture Sivith. I had to do something. Hold it right there, Steve. I jumped between the two of them.
Out of my way. I hate dragons, and this one is no different. Wait, you're that warden dragon I saw earlier. You're the worst kind of dragon of all.
Quick, Sivith, run! Steve wasn't paying attention, and Sivith was able to get away. Steve was then so distracted by her escaping that I was able to escape too.
Hang on, you're not getting away this time.
Steve chased after us, and I tried to knock him back while Sivith got away. He was still too strong, but I was able to get enough hits in to stop him from capturing us. Sivith managed to get away. Soon after, I was able to lose Steve in the trees. Sivith and I met back up, then hurried back to the base. On days 23 to 26, Sivith and I arrived back at the base. I was really worried about what had happened.
I'm so sorry, Zozo. Are you mad at me?
That depends. What happened? Did Steve find our base?
No, I left to go and find more supplies to upgrade our stuff when Steve came out of nowhere and tried to grab me. So you don't need to be mad because he didn't find our base.
I would have been worried if he found our base, but I'm mad that you left. You could have been captured and I would have never seen you again. I could tell Sivith felt really bad. Look, it's okay. I'm sorry for being mad. I know you were just trying to help, but right now it's too risky. Promise me you'll stay at the base from now on?
Okay, I promise. But Zozo?
Yeah?
Before Steve popped out, I did see something interesting. I think you should go check it out.
Sivith explained where I needed to go, and she was right. It did sound like a good place to go. Nice one, Sivith. I'll go take a look. After a bit, I arrived at the place she described. It was a large temple. I stepped inside and was immediately attacked by a bunch of husks. Oh, go drink some water, you dust heads. The husks did their best to bring me down, but I took them out first. After the last one had disappeared, I saw something interesting. Oh, and what might this be? I took a look and saw that there was a bone sword. Wow, this is cool! That's when I realized that the sword also gave me a special ability. Now I could spit spikes. Now that is awesome and mildly confusing. I tested it out, sending spikes shooting at the wall. As I hit the wall, murals started to appear. Just then, a mummy came out and attacked me. Oh, someone is jealous of my spit takes. I kept launching spit spikes at him, slowly wearing him down. He was not a fan, but it didn't matter because I had to survive this. Soon enough, he was gone. So what's up with these murals? I took a closer look and realized they told the story of an epic adventure. One you can watch if you search for my channel, Zozo, Z-O-Z-O. This is when I survived 100 days as Moses. You'll really like that one if you're liking this one so far. On days 27 to 31, I had left the temple and arrived back at the base. As I entered my base, I could barely recognize Sivith. She was now the same size as me. Wow, Sivith, you're even stronger now, and I know just the way to celebrate. Sivith and I headed out to do some more work on the statue. Sivith felt like a little sister to me, and I was happy to have someone on my side. Together we could do anything. We were finishing up the next part of the statue when Sivith had a thought of her own to share.
This is looking good, but something isn't quite right. Feels like it could use a different material.
I think you're right, and I know just what to get. I took off to grab the material I had in mind. I am a little bigger now. I wonder if I can fly. I gave it a shot and found that while I couldn't fly, I could glide. Well, that's better than nothing. I soon arrived at the bottom of the hole, but was soon attacked by straddlers. Out of my way, I've got a statue to save. The straddlers did their best to knock me down, but they were no match for me. With them out of the way, I quickly found what I was looking for. This amethyst is just what we need. I can't wait to see if it looks good on the statue. I mined up as much amethyst as I thought we'd need, then got ready to head back to the base. The statue is going to look amazing now. On days 32 to 35, I was on my way back to the base when I was attacked out of nowhere by piglins. What are you nosy oinkers doing out here? I fought them off using everything I had until the last of them were defeated. That's when I heard something nearby. Hey, were you hiding from the piglins? It's okay now.
The dragon is talking to me.
The villager was so scared and tried to get away from me. But just then, another piglin popped out and started chasing after him. Hey, watch out! I rushed over and took on the piglin. In no time, I was able to defeat him.
You saved me? Wow, thanks.
No problem. Where did all of these piglins come from anyway?
I'm not sure, but my village is full of them. We could really use someone like you to come and clear them out for us. Would you be willing to help?
Say no more. I'm on the case. On days 36 to 39, I followed the villager back to his village. As we got closer, I could see he was right. The village was full of piglins. Let's try to get a better view of what's going on. We snuck around the outside of the town to get a better viewpoint of what was happening.
You see that structure in the middle of the town? That's where everyone is probably hiding out.
Got it. Hang back. I'm going to rush in there and get everyone out.
Whoa, hang on. I know you took those guys out back there, but those were just low-level scouts. You can't hope to take on all of those guys down there at once.
Okay, so what do you suggest?
It will be nighttime soon enough. I think we might be able to sneak in and get everyone out safely.
I'm good with that plan. We'll give it a shot. On days 40 to 43, the villager and I waited for nightfall. Soon, we saw that the piglins had begun falling asleep. It was time to make our move. Let's do this. We snuck into the village, doing our best to keep quiet. Even the smallest of noises could wake up the piglins. Which just then, there was a clang. My new villager friend accidentally bumped into something.
Sorry.
It was too late though. The piglins were awake and not happy to see us. Looks like it's plan A after all. My new friend was right. These piglins were much stronger than the scouts I had fought outside the village. What he wasn't right about though was my ability to take them on. I was tough, and the piglins fell one by one as I took them out. Soon enough, they were all defeated.
Zozo, you did it!
We then went over to the scared villagers, who weren't exactly happy to see me.
Don't worry, everyone. He's a friend. I know dragons can be scary, but Zozo here was the one who rescued all of us. We owe him our lives.
The villagers were happy to find out I wasn't there to eat them, and it felt good for people to see me as the hero.
Thanks again, Zozo. And in the future, if there's anything we can do for you, just let us know.
Will do. Now I've got a statue to go work on. On days 44 to 49, I returned to my base and got to work adding the amethyst to the statue. Sivith was right. This was just what it needed. All right, now we're making some good progress, but still have a ways to go. What do you think so far? All of the building and rescuing from the previous days had made me realize how badly I needed to be protecting myself from attack, so I made sure to do some work on the base. We were going to need strong defenses and traps if Steve ever found us. It had been a while since I had run into him, but I was sure something was going to happen with him soon. On days 50 to 53, I received a message from Alex. Steve and his goons were on the way to my base. How did they find us?
All I know is that he was told something by a villager.
A villager? After everything I did for that guy, he still didn't trust me.
Oh, no, not the guy that was working with you. Just someone from his village.
Still, it's a shame they would sell us out like that. Well, thanks for the warning. I'll go tell Sivith. I ran over to Sivith. Get ready, Sivith. They're coming for us, and we're going to be in for the fight of our lives. Meanwhile, outside the castle, Steve soon arrived with a gang of other players.
Oh, Zozo, the jig is up. We're here for you and that little friend of yours.
I don't care what you want. We didn't do anything to you. Let us live our lives in peace.
Peace is not an option. Attack!
Steve motioned for 2 of his soldiers to charge. As they got closer to the door, our trap started firing arrows, which quickly took them out. You're smarter than you look, but there's plenty more where that came from. Next up came an archer, who did their best to try and disable our traps, shooting flaming arrows into them. Unfortunately, that seemed to do the trick, and the trap stopped working. 2 griefers came up to the door, laid some TNT, and lit it. But suddenly, the traps came back to life, taking out the archer and trapping the griefers in. There was an explosion, which took them out, but also took out the traps and door. The base was open now, though, and the players started to run in, but not before falling into my pitfall trap. Another noob tried running in too, but fell right into the hole. Just then, someone vented in through the side and took a look in the hole. Unfortunately for them, their Spec Ops teammate popped in and knocked them down the hole. These guys really need to learn to work together. He filled in the hole, and the rest of the team charged in. Bring it on! The players charged at me, while I did my best to fight them off. Leave us alone! We didn't do anything to you! Most of the players were pretty weak, but I could hear someone setting off explosions in the background. I had to hurry. I had defeated most of the players when one stronger one with a flaming sword stepped up to fight. Look, man, you don't want to mess with me. The player simply attacked. His flaming sword was really strong and kept setting me on fire. Yeah, okay, I see why people don't like Dragon's fire breath. Ouch! He was tough, but my attacks were getting the job done. I could tell he was getting weak, and I got him lined up with the edge. Have a good flight! I hit him hard, sending him flying over the edge. Just then, I felt the energy surge through me, and I grew into an even bigger dragon with more hearts. Yes, I feel amazing! Just then, I heard Sivith let out a cry. She was in trouble. I looked and saw she had been captured by Steve. Ha ha ha! Say goodbye to your little friend. Steve ran out of the base with Sivith in chains. I've got to stop him! I ran out of the base, but 2 more of Steve's players were waiting for me. They weren't very strong, but they gave Steve enough time to get away. I knocked them out, but it was too late. Hang on, Sivith. I'll find you! On days 54 to 57, I got out the horn and gave Alex a call. She arrived soon after.
Zozo, you look so sad. What's wrong?
They got Sivith. I've never felt so hopeless. Do you know where they might be taking her?
I'm sorry, Zozo. I really wish I could help, but I have no idea where they could be going.
I could tell Alex felt really bad, and she offered me some raw beef to cheer me up.
Look, we'll find her. In the meantime, let's get this place fixed up. You won't be of any use to Sivith if they come back and capture you too.
I agreed, and Alex and I got to work repairing the base. We had soon finished up the repairs, but I was still feeling a little bit down. One thing that I thought might help, though, was working on the statue. Alex offered to help on that as well, which made me grateful to have a friend in her. I was so worried about myself and my problems, I hadn't really thought much about what Alex was going through. Thanks for all of your help, Alex. I know you're going through a lot too, so it means a lot you are willing to help me.
Anytime, Zozo. Now take care. I've got some things to take care of.
I said goodbye and got ready for bed. Tomorrow I would figure out what I needed to do to save Sivith. On days 58 to 62, I headed into the mines. I didn't know where I needed to go to find Sivith, but I knew I needed to be stronger before I could do anything anyway. As I explored the mines, I was suddenly attacked by silverfish. These guys have always grossed me out. They were quick little buggers and hard to hit. Lucky for me though, I was able to take them out without taking too much damage. I continued into the mines and soon found some diamonds. Excellent, this is just what I need. I swung my pickaxe and gathered up lots of diamonds. I was going to have much better gear now. With all of my diamonds collected, I made my way back out of the mines. Back in my base, I got right to work crafting all of the diamond gear that I could. Steve wasn't going to know what hit him. On day 63 to 66, I woke up with a brilliant idea. I might not know where Steve is, but I know someone who might. And something tells me they are not going to be happy to see me. I took off towards the village I had saved days earlier. It was time to have a chat with the villager who ratted me out. As I arrived in the village, I saw my friend from earlier. I explained the situation to him, as well as who I was looking for.
I'm sorry to hear it, but I can't say I'm surprised.
Billiam has always been the village rat. I know just where you can find him.
We headed off and found Billiam.
Whoa, you're, bigger than the last time we saw you.
I am. I'm quite a bit stronger, too. I can break little villagers like you with no problem.
Oh, wow, yeah. Well, you're not gonna do that, are you?
That's up to you. My home was attacked by Steve and his goons. My friend was taken prisoner. I can't forgive this, but I might be able to look past it if you tell me where I can find her.
I'm sorry, but I don't know where they might have taken her.
Uh-oh, that's the wrong answer. I took a deep breath and got ready to blast him.
Wait, I'm telling the truth. I don't know where they would have taken her, but I can tell you where to find Steve's messenger that I talked to.
I thought about it and decided that was probably the best thing I was going to get from this guy. All right then, looks like today's your lucky day. Billiam spilled everything he knew about where I could find this messenger. After he had told me everything, I headed out. Something tells me Billiam is not going to be very welcome in his village anymore. Sounds like that's in the best interest of everybody. On day 67 to 70, I arrived at the fortress that Billiam had told me about. I charged up to the base and immediately started attacking the guards. Where is your leader? Where is Sivith? The guards weren't interested in my questions and simply did their best to fight me off. But my friend was in danger and nothing was going to stop me. Out of my way, tin heads! As I fought my way through, I soon came across an even bigger guard. This guy was tougher than the first ones, but I wasn't going to let that stop me. He swung at me and did some serious damage. It really hurt, but I swung back and was able to take him out. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. I had made it into the castle, and more of the big guys were trying to take me down. They swung, I dodged, and knocked their blocks off. Hang on, Sivith, I'm coming! On days 71 to 74, I had officially made it into the fortress. It was as if the whole base had been alerted to my presence, as every bad guy in the place was swarming in on me. I don't care how many of you there are, I'm going to make it to the top. As I knocked guard after guard out of my way, I eventually found myself inside a library. Wait a second, what's this? I had found some kind of special item. With this, I have the strongest spike attack I can get. Excited with my new ability, I immediately put it to the test. There were some guards up on the balconies, and I managed to take them out. Oh yeah, whoever this guy is, he's in for a real surprise. On days 75 to 78, I made it to what looked like the lair of the castle's boss. You there, you must know where Steve is keeping his prisoners. Tell me, or else.
Heh, you really think I'm gonna help a dragon? Look at me. Steve has been stealing the power of the dragons to make us stronger, and there's no way you'll be able to defeat me.
What? What does he hope to gain from all of this?
Not only will he finally destroy all dragons, but he will become a powerful dragon himself. Then no one can stop us.
Yeah? Well, this dragon isn't going to let that happen. Bring it on! The henchman and I started to fight. I did my best to fight him off, but since he had been given dragon powers, he was incredibly strong. This wasn't going to be a simple fight. Do you really think Steve will let you live your life once he's king? He's going to turn on anyone who has even a little bit of power.
Silence! You don't know what you're talking about. But it doesn't matter, because you're going to lose.
It looked like there was no talking sense into this guy. The fight was getting intense, but it was time to end it. I focused all of my energy, used all of my attacks, and at long last, I won! The henchman was nearly defeated.
No! How could I lose to a measly dragon?
Last chance, tell me where Steve's base is.
Never!
The henchman leapt forward to attack me, but I took him out instead. Well, maybe there's something around here that can help me out. On day 79 to 84, I started taking a look around the castle. Wait, what's this? Inside of a chest was a bunch of golden apples. Suddenly, there was a sound outside. As I ran out to look, I could see Steve in the distance, and he was looking right at me.
Ah, Zozo. Just the one I was looking for.
What do you want, Steve? Where's Sivith?
Who? Who cares? All you need to know is I finally finished my potion. The power of the dragons is finally mine. I received word you were here, so I thought I'd let you be the first one to see.
Steve drank down a potion and suddenly started to change. He turned into a disfigured but powerful dragon. Steve, what have you done?
Ha ha ha. Here, let me show you up close.
Steve took off into the air and flew toward me. I was strong, but not strong enough for this. I couldn't even fly yet. I had no choice but to run.
Come on, Zozo. What's the problem? Afraid of a little fire?
I kept running toward my base as Steve continued to chase me. I had to get to cover. We ran across the land and I finally snuck into my base. Steve flew around for a bit, but realized he couldn't fit inside. After a while, he left. I fear for the worst with Sivith. Is she still alive? On days 85 to 89, I got out of bed after a sleepless night. I had no idea if Steve would be waiting for me outside, and I couldn't risk going out there. I went back over to my statue. I had planned on completing it with Sivith, but I was worried I might not have that chance. I worked on completing the final part. Well, it's all done. It reminds me of Sivith, and she would have been proud of what we did here. I only hope I can avenge her and save everyone else from Steve's insanity. I was feeling more confident than before and stepped over to the ledge. Maybe I was strong enough to fly. I leapt over the edge and sure enough, I was able to get my wings going and fly. Yes, finally! I took some time to get used to flying. Luckily, it looked like Steve had left the area. I was able to get some good practice in when I heard Alex sounding off on her horn. I flew toward the sound and saw Alex was waiting for me.
Zozo, you did it! You're flying! This is great news!
Thanks! I just wish I knew where Steve's base was. One way or another, I've got to end this.
Well, I've got some good news for you. I found it!
I couldn't believe it. Maybe now we could finally get revenge for all the wrongs Steve had done. Even though I was feeling stronger though, I was still worried about how we could defeat Steve.
Steve is afraid of anything that might harm him, so he likes to keep that close to him. When we get to his base, we should take a look around. There might be something there that can help.
On days 90 to 94, I flew to Steve's base. As I landed outside the base, I met up with Alex. Wait a second, how did you beat me here? I was flying.
Oh, I have another highway set up, so I can get around pretty quick.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. So have you seen Steve?
Not yet. I think you should be good to head inside. I'll wait out here and let you know if Steve shows up.
Sounds like a plan. Stay safe. I took off and flew over the wall, landing in the courtyard. The place was full of half-dragon guards. Oh man, what happened to you guys? As I fought off the guards, I realized that these must have been Steve's failed dragon transformation experiments. That guy was twisted. Even though they were failed experiments, they were still really strong. I was able to hold them off, but I lost some pieces of my armor in the process. Whew, okay, that was tough. Let's move in deeper and see what we can find. On days 95 to 97, I moved even deeper into the base. Jeez, this place is huge! I soon found myself in what looked to be a forge room. I decided to take a look around and see if I could find anything that could help me in my fight. There was a cool dragon statue nearby. Then I noticed a chest was near it. I wonder what could be in here. I opened the chest and saw it was full of netherite gear. This just might give me the boost I need to win the fight. I kept on exploring when suddenly I was attacked by more of Steve's minions. How many of you guys are there? I smacked as many of them out of the way as I could. If there were guys down here, I must be getting close. I was finally going to be able to get my revenge. After I defeated the last of the minions, I came face to face with another one of Steve's stronger dragon guards. The last fight against one of you was hard. Let's hope this time can be better. We both sprang into action, hitting each other and firing off different attacks. He was still really strong, but my new equipment was doing its job. I managed to get him lined up with a cliff. Hang on to your horns! I gave him a good whack and sent him flying over the edge to his doom. Bet you wish you had the power to fly. On day 98, I moved even deeper into the base. It was starting to get really cold and wet. How deep underground had I gone? More guards? No problem. At this point, I was getting pretty good at fighting these guards. That's when I realized there was a dragon in a cage nearby. It was Sivith. I defeated the last of the guards, then hurried over to the cages. Hang on, I'll get you out. I used my sonic attack and opened up the cage, freeing my small friend. I was excited to see she was still alive, but had a question to ask her. I was scared to ask, but I had to know the answer. Sivith, I'm so happy you're alive. Have you by any chance seen my mother down here? A sad expression came over Sivith's face.
I have, but unfortunately she's gone. We were only both here for a short while, but I believe she saved my life.
What do you mean?
When Steve came to extract her powers from her, she gave him even more power than she needed to.
More power? Why would she do that? That just let him turn into a dragon sooner.
It's true, but you have to understand that she was out of time, and Steve would have used my power next. He was going to figure the transformation out, but your mom sacrificed herself to be sure Steve wouldn't need to hurt me too.
Wow, I understand. She was always looking out for others.
She also told me that she believed in you, and she knew even if Steve was able to harness dragon powers, you would be able to defeat him. She told me to give this to you when you arrived.
Sivith tossed something out on the ground. Warden's heart. This was a gift to my mom from my dad. I had always heard that there was a special power inside of it that combined the power of the dragon and the warden. But before I could investigate any further, I heard a noise from Alex's horn. Steve must be here. Come on, Sivith, let's get out of here. On day 99, Sivith and I arrived back outside of the base. Alex was waiting, and we hurried over to her.
Watch out! Steve is...
Just then, Steve came smashing down into the courtyard in his dragon form.
Sorry to break up the party, but you three have been getting on my nerves.
It's over, Steve. You might look like a dragon, but you will never truly be one. It's time for you to pay for your crimes.
Is that so? Well, come and get me, Warden.
Warden? Zozo, use the Warden's heart.
I quickly grabbed the warden's heart and activated it. I felt an amazing amount of energy flow through me, and I leveled up into my strongest, most powerful form. I can feel the full power of the Ender Dragon and the warden within me. You're going down, Steve. Steve let out a growl as we started to fight. We flew around, launching our dragon's breath at each other. The sound of our battle could be heard for miles. Give it up, Steve. I have the power of the two most powerful beings in the land. You can't hope to defeat me.
You're just a freaky mix of two creatures.
Hey man, look who's talking! I finally landed a powerful blow, which brought Steve down to his final heart. I soared high and dive-bombed him, delivering the final blow.
Oh, no!
Steve started to explode as his head spun violently. His entire being was glitching out of existence. And stay out of our land! On day 100, Sivith, Alex, and I all made it back to our base. We had lost our families and close friends, but together we would be our own new family. And if anyone else was in trouble, we'd be here to help them out. On day 101, I was on top of the world, flying around the Alps as a fully grown warden dragon, one of the strongest creatures in the overworld. I've got all my special abilities and 100 hearts. It doesn't get much better than this. But while I was busy flying and celebrating, I didn't even notice that someone was standing on the Alps. It was a scary-looking robot, and he was staring right at me with his big red eyes. I wonder who that is.
Dragon detected. Deploy attack 6. Depowering energy blast.
Before I could even react, the robot shot me with an energy blast, and something terrible happened. I fell down to the ground, feeling myself getting smaller and weaker. My 100 hearts went back down to a measly 10, and almost all of my powers disappeared. And not just that, all of my equipment disappeared too. What? This is impossible! The robot came running over to me. Who are you? Why are you doing this?
I am Dragon Slayer 3000. My primary directive is to destroy all dragons. Initiate Dragon Killer Blade.
He pulled out a scary-looking sword and charged towards me. Lucky for me, I at least had one power left, flight. I flew off as quickly as I could, leaving Dragon Slayer 3000 in the dust. I landed on the ground nearby and was immediately attacked by a saber-toothed pig. I was so weak now, I couldn't even fight back, so I just flew away as fast as I could until I got somewhere safe. I was on top of the world, and now I'm on the bottom. How could this happen? I took a second to breathe and rest. I needed a way to get my powers back and defeat Dragon Slayer 3000. On day 102, I traveled out of the cold, unforgiving world of the Alps and made my way into the nearby cherry blossom forest. Yeah, this is more like it. I just went through a traumatic event. I need somewhere nice and calm to stay. But before I could make myself a new base to stay, I needed to make myself a whole new set of tools. I busted down a tree and made myself a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe. That's a good start. Now let's go for stone. I mined into the ground with my wooden pickaxe and started collecting stone until I had enough to create a stone pickaxe, axe, and stone sword. It's building time!
I started cutting down some of the cherry blossom trees until I'd collected enough materials to start constructing my base. I started small at first, seeing as I was small now too, building a room for myself to sleep in. But I didn't have enough material to finish the roof, so I went into the woods to collect more materials. That's when I ran into an angry zombie spoiner. Oh no, this day is bad enough already. I don't want to deal with any zombies today. I pulled out my stone sword and fought him off. Lucky for me, I still wasn't too weak to take down a zombie spoiner. Phew, now back to base building. I collected the materials I needed, then went back to my base to finish off the roof. It was a small base, but it was a good start, and I knew I could build myself back up from here. On day 103, I decided to travel around, hoping to collect some more wood for constructing my base and find out more about the crazy robot that had attacked me back in the Alps. That's why I went to the coniferous forest, but this forest wasn't quite as welcoming as the cherry blossom forest. My big clue was a huge vile ogre who showed up and tried to shake me down for some emeralds.
You have to pay the troll toll if you want to pass through this forest, puny dragon.
But you're not even a troll, you're an ogre. They're not the same thing.
Ugh, what a silly technicality. I'm gonna pound you for that, kid.
He gave me a powerful whack after that, taking off a few of my hearts. Remembering the powerful dragon I once was, I pulled out my stone sword and fought back until the vile ogre was defeated. Darn, I'm still injured though. This is the worst. But in my moment of need, a mysterious spirit appeared, the guardian of the forest.
Hello, little dragon. You're certainly a rare one.
I wasn't always little. Wait, what do you mean I'm a rare one?
That terrible machine has been destroying dragons in droves. You're the only one I've seen in ages.
Terrible machine? You mean the Dragon Slayer 3000?
The very same. You look injured. Here, take these healing potions.
I took the potions, and it immediately helped me reclaim all of my hearts. Thank you, Forest Guardian. Want to come back to my base with me? We can work towards destroying that machine for good.
I like the sound of that. Lead the way, Zozo.
From day 104 to day 105, the Guardian of the Forest and I went back to my base. It was still pretty tiny, and there was no room for the Guardian to fit in as is. No worries, Guardian. I'll build you a new room where you can stay. I mined some extra wood and stone from around the cherry blossom forest and used it to add a nice new house onto the base. A house that would be perfect for a forest guardian, complete with some plants and a window to let in the sun. He seemed impressed.
This is perfect, Zozo. I think I'll enjoy my time here with you.
But he was wrong. Not everything was perfect because a gang of skeletons had heard all my construction work and were making their way towards the base. Oh no, I better take them out before they can ruin anything. I pulled out my stone sword and charged in. Skeletons were no match for even a small dragon, so it didn't take me long to defeat them all. And when they were gone, I noticed that they dropped some potions of regeneration. I added them all to my inventory. It's always good to have some of these on hand for emergencies. From day 106 to day 108, I got a crazy craving for fried eggs, but I couldn't just go to the store to get them. I needed to do it the old-fashioned way. I built a chicken coop and a fenced-off area on my base, perfect for a little free-range chicken farm. Then I started collecting chickens and herding them back to my base. I'll have a steady supply of delicious eggs in no time. I can hardly wait. Still feeling hungry in the short term, I decided to go wandering through the cherry blossom forest again, hoping I'd find something cool to eat. Instead, I found something very different. It was the Dragon Slayer 3000, and his big red eye was fixed on me.
Dragon detected.
Can't we just talk this out?
Initiation Destruction Protocol D4. Dragon Slaying Cyber Battle Axe.
The Dragon Slayer 3000 pulled a huge battle axe, seemingly out of thin air, and he charged for me, swinging the axe again and again, only barely missing me each time.
Resistance is futile. All dragons will be annihilated.
The Dragon Slayer 3000 had really earned its name. I needed to get out of there before it could slay me. I took off and flew away, trying to get as far away from that robotic monster as possible. But back on the ground, the Dragon Slayer 3000 was unfazed.
Tracking flight pattern. Processing estimated arrival location. This dragon will not escape.
From day 109 to day 110, I returned back to my base, still feeling terrified after my close encounter with Dragon Slayer 3000. He'd taken my powers, he'd taken my size and my progress, and he'd almost taken my life. I'm I'm so scared that the next time I run into that evil robot, he'll destroy me for good. Just as I was slipping into anxiety and panic, the guardian of the forest came into my room with some encouraging words.
Zozo, I sense you've been feeling down. I understand. The odds are against you, and you've lost a great deal. You may think you're weak, but strength is not about how hard you can strike. It's about how hard you can be struck and keep on fighting. Go outside, and you'll see a statue I've been working on just for you.
That's so kind, Forest Guardian. I'll head out there and take a look now. So I did. I went outside and saw the statue that the Forest Guardian had been working on, and it looked amazing. This is so cool. I can't wait to see what it'll be when it's done. What do you think it'll be when it's done? Just as I was admiring his hard work on the statue, the Forest Guardian came over with some more good news.
That ain't the only thing I've made for you. Go back to the base, and you'll see another upgrade I've been working on. I think it'll come in handy with keeping an eye out for that terrible machine.
I went back to the base and saw that the Forest Guardian had transformed one of the cherry blossom trees into an awesome watchtower. It would be a perfect way to keep an eye on the forest around us and know if the Dragon Slayer 3000 was on his way. I'm starting to feel more powerful again already. I can do this thing! From day 111 to day 112, feeling more confident than before, I went back out into the cherry blossom forest to understand my surroundings better. This time, if I ran into the robot, I wouldn't run away like a scared little coward. I'd stand up for myself and fight like a real dragon. But lucky for me, I didn't run into the Dragon Slayer 3000 at all. Instead, I found my way to a cozy little cabin where a friendly old witch was waiting.
Hello there, dearie. You look a little tired from all your wandering. How about you rest here and talk with me for a little bit?
I'd love that, thank you. I'm Zozo.
So what are you doing out here, sweetheart? You are walking with a real sense of purpose.
As a matter of fact, I do have a purpose. I'm trying to get my dragon strength back so I can defeat the Dragon Slayer 3000.
Oh dear.
What's wrong?
It's just that if you're planning on going up against that metal monstrosity, I recommend you be extremely careful. You have no idea the terrible things it's capable of. There used to be many dragons around here, and not just little baby ones like you. Adult dragons at their full power. And within 100 days, the Dragon Slayer 3000 wiped them all out, one by one. You'll need to be exceptionally powerful if you want to defeat it.
Well, that sure fills me with confidence. From day 113 to day 115, I returned to the coniferous forest, wondering if there was anything valuable I'd missed during my first trip there. You can only imagine my surprise when another big, mean Vile Ogre jumped out of the woods, right in front of me. Wait, how can you be here? Didn't I defeat you before?
Oh, that was my brother. He was out here, minding his own business, and you started to fight with him.
He was literally trying to shake me down for money in a forest he'd known. He even hit me first.
That doesn't sound like him at all. For defaming my brother's memory, you're going down, you teeny tiny little dragon.
The Vile Ogre attacked me! He fought just like his brother, but this time I was prepared. Before he could take too much health from me, I defeated him with my stone sword and leveled up. I got bigger, and my total hearts rose up to 20, and I gained back one of my most important abilities, fire breathing. I'm getting my dragon mojo back, baby. From day 116 to day 119, seeing as I'd upgraded my size and strength, I figured it was time to level up my weapons and equipment too. That's why I found my way to an underground cavern that was perfect for mining myself some extra materials, specifically some iron ore. Once I'd gathered up enough, I started building an underground furnace so I could smelt the ore into ingots and start creating all my new gear. But I was interrupted by another nasty creature living in the underground cavern, a deadly giant cave spider, and he thought I looked like a delicious dragon snack. Well, I hope you like your meals extra spicy, cave spider. I huffed, and I puffed, and I breathed a jet of flame right at the cave spider, scaring it back into the darkness. It definitely wouldn't bother me after that. Then, I used all that iron I collected to make myself an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. I was officially stronger than ever before. And one day, I'm gonna use this sword to destroy the robot that ruined my life. From day 120 to day 122, I spent one day just resting at the base, having no idea that the day after would bring me my toughest battle yet. That day started with the Guardian of the Forest waking me up in a blind panic and telling me the last thing I wanted to hear at that moment.
Zozo, Dragon Slayer 3000, he's here! He's practically outside the gates! We need to stop him before it's too late!
Oh no! I ran as quickly as I could. I hoped that I'd been dreaming for a while until I saw that the Forest Guardian was absolutely right. Dragon Slayer 3000 was standing right next to the base, carrying his battle axe.
Dragon detected. Initiate destruction methods.
Wait, why do you want to destroy us dragons so badly? Is it something we did to you?
What you do to me is irrelevant. My programming dictates that I must destroy all dragons I detect at all costs.
Who programmed you like that anyway?
You do not need to know. Battle axe attack initiated.
Talking time was over. Dragon Slayer 3000 ran at me with his battle axe again, getting 2 strikes in before I was able to hit him back with my sword. And when I did, it didn't seem to cause much damage. I decided with the threat of getting slain right here in front of me, it was time to unleash my latest dragon power, Fire Breath. I breathed my fire at Dragon Slayer 3000, and it almost seemed to short-circuit him for a moment. He backed away, looking confused.
Dragon has access to fire abilities. Activate contingency plan G6. Retreat mode initiated.
And with that, the Dragon Slayer 3000 fled back into the forest and out of sight. I hadn't defeated him fully this time, but somehow, after this fight, I finally understood that this monster wasn't invincible. If I kept getting stronger, I could defeat him once and for all. From day 123 to day 126, I was working on creating a weapon upgrade for my iron sword. After seeing how Dragon Slayer 3000 reacted to me using my fire breathing on him, I thought he might have some kind of weakness to fire. That's why I applied the Fire Aspect enchantment, which would lend extra fire damage to every single swing of my sword. This is really gonna help me out on my quest. And if you'd also like to help me out on my quest, search Zozo in the search bar to find and watch more adventures with me, Zozo. We're gonna have an awesome time! From day 127 to day 131, the Guardian of the Forest came over to share some less stressful news with me than the last time.
Zozo, I've done more work on the statue. Come check it out.
Of course, I'll be right over. I met with the Guardian outside and saw all of the amazing work he'd been doing on the statue. It looked so cool. The Guardian certainly had a real talent for building statues.
But for this next part, I need your help, Zozo. The statue is coming along nicely, but I need some ebony logs to really take it to the next level. Would you be able to journey out to the ebony forest and get me some?
I'll be there and back before you know it. That was a bit of an exaggeration, but I did travel out to the ebony forest as quickly as I could gather up the material I needed for the Forest Guardian statue. On the way there, I ran into an Enderman who really didn't like intruders entering his forest, even if they were just dropping in to grab some equipment. You better not tell me I need to pay the Enderman toll. Thankfully, some fire breath was enough to scare the Enderman away. And I was able to gather up plenty of the material the Guardian of the Forest needed to keep building and improving the statue. From day 132 to day 135, I started making my way back to the Ebony Forest, eager to give all the materials I'd gathered over to the Forest Guardian. On the way there, though, things started to get strange. I spotted a flying ghast, which is normally only seen in the Nether. What are you doing out here? The ghast obviously didn't reply. They attacked me with their ranged attack, and I replied in kind and flew up towards it and hit it with my fire breath, knocking the ghast out of the sky. It feels so good to be a dragon. As I continued my journey back towards my base, I ran into a worried-looking piglin. I stopped to see if he needed any help. Hey, little piglin, don't be afraid. You look like you need a hand. Anything I can help with?
Oh yes, thank goodness. You've really saved my bacon here. My piglet friend was kidnapped by an evoker, and his zombie minions had dragged out to the Mojave Desert. I'd go on my own, but I worry I'm not strong enough. And then we both be captured.
Don't worry, piglin. I'll get right on it. And with my new quest, I set off. From day 136 to day 139, I traveled until I reached the Mojave Desert. It was exhaustingly hot and dry out there, but it didn't take me long to discover a mini base set up deep in the scorching heat of the Mojave. It was a fenced-off area surrounded by patrolling hordes of zombies. Inside the camp, a piglin was locked in a cage, and the evoker stood there, talking to him.
We'll see how much your friend cares about you, little piglin. Maybe if he comes and gives me the money we agreed to, I'll let you both go. Or maybe I'll just kidnap you both.
Please, you can't do that.
You're in my clutches, piglin. You can't tell me what I can and can't do. I'm holding all the cards here.
Watching this happen, I knew I needed to get in there and stop this. I'd free the piglin and defeat that evil evoker, and my dragon powers would help me do it. From day 140 to day 143, I launched my plan to defeat the evoker and save the piglin. Rather than fighting all the zombies gathered outside, I flew and lowered myself down into the camp from above. The evoker didn't seem happy about that.
How dare you invade my camp, you lousy dragon! Zombies, eat them alive!
Zombies inside the camp rushed towards me. I pulled out my iron sword to fight them off, but there seemed to be no end to the zombie horde. This sword isn't powerful enough to take them all, even with the fire aspect. But in the nick of time, I got lucky. I saw a Kyther lying on the ground, exactly what I needed. Don't mind if I do. I grabbed the Kyther, going crazy and taking out every zombie I could. Soon enough, there were no zombies left. It was just me, the evoker, and the trapped piglin. The evoker backed away, feeling a little nervous.
No hard feelings about me telling the zombies to eat you alive, right? That was just a prank, bro.
Instead of answering his question, I blasted him with a jet of flame. After that, I freed the piglin.
Thank you so much, kind stranger. How can I ever repay you?
Go back to your friend in the ebony forest. He's been worried about you. That's the only repayment I need. From day 144 to day 149, I returned back to my base and gave the guardian of the forest all the materials I'd collected for him in the ebony forest.
Thank you for these, Zozo. It took you a while to get them. Was everything okay?
Oh yeah, it was fine. Just got a little sidetracked. I'm gonna get working on some base improvements while you work on the statue.
Sounds good to me, Zozo.
I decided to work on a security perimeter wall around the base while the guardian of the forest was statue building. I built the wall nice and tall just to make sure it kept out potential invaders. Once I finished the construction and stood back to take in the side of my big, powerful wall, the guardian of the forest approached me again with the good news.
Come take a look at the statue, Zozo. It's almost done.
So I did exactly what he said. I went to take a look at the statue and was amazed at what I saw. The forest guardian was clearly a statue building whiz. Can you tell what it is yet? Let me know down in the comments. From day 150 to day 153, I woke up to some more bad news. The Dragon Slayer 3000 was once again waiting right outside my base, and the guardian of the forest was following along. Oh no, he's kidnapped my friend! But I couldn't just chase after them, because at the exact same time, a group of husks that the evil machine must have led here were attacking my base. My anger at that monstrous robot kidnapping my friend let me fight even harder. And during my battle with the gang of husks, I got enough XP to level up and become even stronger. I got bigger. My total hearts increased up to 50. I used my newfound strength to take out the last of the husks. My base was safe, but the guardian of the forest was still gone, and I needed to save him. From day 154 to day 157, I checked around my base to make sure there weren't any holes in the walls besides the entryways. You have to keep a keen eye to make sure your walls are as sturdy as they can be. After my base was secured, I went to go meet my other ally in the Cherry Blossom Forest, the witch in her cozy cabin, to get her advice on what to do next. I sat across from her and told her about the situation.
Since you first came to me, Zozo, I've been doing some research, and I think I might have information that could help you. A few hundred years ago, there were some extremely dangerous dragons on the prowl. Some scientist working in the lush tundra created robots like the Dragon Slayer 3000. But even once those few dangerous dragons were destroyed, the machines endured. I've just never seen one this advanced before. Still, if you want to save the guardian of the forest, checking the lush tundra may be your best option. Just be careful out there.
From day 158 to day 162, knowing that my best friend was trapped in the territory of my most dangerous enemy, I needed to get better weaponry. That's why I once again returned to the underground cavern where I did my previous mining. And as usual, I had another guest while I was down there. What I wasn't expecting was for that guest to be a creeper. I panicked as it skittered towards me, ready to explode. It was terrifying, but I managed to get away just in time. Boom! The creeper exploded. If the Dragon Slayer 3000 doesn't get me, the stress of these 100 days is gonna be what finishes me off. At first, I thought this was just another one of my many near-death experiences, but these lemons came with a free side of lemonade. In the crater left by the creeper exploding, there were a bunch of diamonds. It looks like my luck is finally turning around today. I gathered up all the diamonds and forged them into a powerful diamond sword, a perfect weapon for taking on that diabolical droid. Now all I needed was the courage to actually go and do it, knowing how scary and dangerous the Dragon Slayer 3000 truly was. From day 163 to day 166, I returned back to my base with my new diamond sword, feeling frightened and worried about what I needed to do, even though my friend's life was at stake. To make myself feel a little better, I gave my diamond sword the fire aspect enchantment, just like with my old iron sword. That would make it a more effective weapon against Dragon Slayer 3000, but I was still afraid. I stood and looked at the statue that the Guardian of the Forest had created for me. It wasn't done yet, and if I didn't save the Forest Guardian, it would never be finished. It would be an eternal reminder that I'd let my friend down. I won't let you down, Forest Guardian. I'm gonna come and save you from that evil machine, no matter the risk. I'm going to the lush tundra, and I'm gonna help you. And if you want to help me, you can subscribe to Zozo and turn on notifications so you never miss another one of my exciting Minecraft adventures. From day 167 to day 170, I put my money where my mouth was and traveled all the way to the lush tundra. I searched around until I discovered what looked like an abandoned factory. This must be where Dragon Slayer 3000 was created. He probably turned it into his base when all the scientists left. If the Forest Guardian is gonna be anywhere, it's here. I ran into the building and immediately found that more hordes of husks had made their home here, just like the ones that he'd led to attack my base. I must have been getting closer. Come at me, husks. You don't stand a chance. The husks did come at me in whole swarms. With my diamond sword, I was able to cut down a lot of them, and I defeated even more with my fiery breath. There was no way I was letting any of those low-level mobs stop me from saving my friend. It wasn't long before I was standing in an empty room, having defeated all of the husks. I kept searching the building, trying to find where they might be keeping my friend. Forest Guardian, it's me, Zozo. I've come here to help you. That's when I heard a voice at the other end of a deep, dark hallway that went into the ground.
Zozo! Oh, thank goodness! I'm down here! Please, come save me!
I ran down the long hall and saw the room where the Guardian of the Forest was trapped. I didn't waste any time and busted down the bars that were holding him. I'm so glad you're safe, Forest Guardian. I don't even know why he kidnapped you. You're not even a dragon.
He's an incredibly intelligent machine, Zozo. I think he kidnapped me just because he knew that you'd come and save me. Let's go back to the base before he realizes you're in here.
No, Forest Guardian, I'm sorry. I want you to go back to the base, but I'm through with running. Keep the base safe for me. I'll come back once I've defeated this robot, once and for all.
Just be careful, Zozo. I have a feeling he's got at least one more trick up his silver sleeve.
With that, the Guardian of the Forest turned and left, and I started going deeper into the Dragon Slayer's base. From day 171 to day 174, I went deeper into the abandoned factory. While in there, I found a dusty old chest locked away in a corner. It contained two things. One was a potion of strength, and the other was a book marked Scientist Notes. I looked through the book, and it contained the following. We witnessed an extraordinary event in the factory today. Our Dragon Slayer 2000 models seem to have gained true intelligence. In fact, they used this intelligence to construct an entirely new machine, the Dragon Slayer 3000. It's the first machine to be planned and built entirely by other machines. Whoa, that explains why this thing is so cold and cruel. The sooner I can put this rogue robot down, the better. From day 175 to day 178, now knowing of his true origin, I went far enough into the factory to discover Dragon Slayer 3000 waiting for me.
Dragon detected. Prepare for your immediate annihilation.
Funny, I was about to say the exact same thing to you. I didn't want to waste any more time talking to this evil machine. Instead, I ran in and pulled out my diamond sword. I hit the robot again and again and again, not even giving him a chance to fight back. I wanted to end it there and then. But before I could deliver the final blow, Dragon Slayer 3000 stepped away and ran into a nearby room. I went running after him as fast as I could. I'm not gonna let you get away with this anymore, Dragon Slayer. Your days of hunting us dragons are over. From day 179 to day 184, I entered the main chamber of the factory. It was large and completely abandoned, but I still saw the glowing red eye of the Dragon Slayer 3000 staring at me. But this time, I wasn't going to let him go. I defeated him and sent him running before. Now it was time to finish him off. Time for the Dragon Slayer 3000 to get slayed by a dragon. I've gotta say, Dragon Slayer, I enjoy the irony.
I wasn't programmed to have any sense of irony. It is of no use to me.
The point is, I'm going to destroy you for everything you've done to me and dragons like me. There's no place in the world for a machine like you.
Then I will have to upgrade. Activate Contingency Plan Z13, Metamorphosis Protocol.
What? Dragon Slayer 3000 began to transform, getting bigger, scarier, and way more advanced. I'd never seen anything like it. All my confidence in the fight completely drained away in that moment.
Upgrade complete. I am now Dragon Slayer 4000, the ultimate stage of my technological evolution. My capabilities have increased, and I can now destroy even the strongest dragons. You cannot harm me, Zozo.
Oh no, I think I may have overestimated my ability here.
Destruction Blast.
The new Dragon Slayer 4000 blasted an even more powerful energy weapon. I was able to dodge it in the nick of time and ran out of there as fast as I could. I need to figure something out fast or I'm doomed. From day 185 to day 189, I returned to my base in a blind panic. I immediately went up to the Guardian of the Forest.
Hello again, Zozo. Thank you again for saving me. Ready to celebrate finally defeating Dragon Slayer 3000?
Not quite. Kind of the opposite, actually. Dragon Slayer 3000 got even more powerful. He upgraded into Dragon Slayer 4000. And I don't know how I'm gonna defeat him like that.
Oh no, that's the last thing we wanted to happen. Here, take this knockback enchantment. It'll make your attacks a little more effective. I believe someone is here to see you. In the meantime, I'm gonna go finish up the statue.
Who's come to visit me? It turned out that it was none other than the witch, coming straight to my base to deliver some valuable news.
Zozo, I have something that I think you'll want to hear.
Please tell me it's good news.
Oh yes, very good news. I've tracked down something that can fast-track your leveling up. A special potion known as Dragon Serum. It will help you grow into a full-sized dragon with all the relevant special abilities. They say it ran out years ago, but I've tracked down one more bottle of it in a single chest.
That's amazing. Do you know where I can find this chest?
It's in a place you may find familiar, the Mojave Desert.
That's perfect. I'll set off right away. Stay at my base in the meantime, Miss Witch, just to be safe. But before I could leave, I heard the Guardian of the Forest calling out for me.
Before you go, Zozo, I have something to show you. The statue is finally finished.
Excited to see what the Guardian of the Forest had created, I flew up high towards the mountains next to my base to get a better view. It was amazing! A beautiful statue of a powerful adult warden dragon. It looked exactly like I did before the Dragon Slayer stole all of my power. Thank you, Forest Guardian. This is truly awesome. And when I get my hands on that dragon serum, that's gonna be me again. On day 190 to day 194, I returned once again to the Mojave Desert, where I'd defeated the Evoker and his minions and saved the piglin. If only last time I'd been looking for that chest, this whole thing might have been over a lot sooner. I searched all across the desert, feeling the intense heat on my dragon scales. Whoever had hidden that serum up here must have really wanted to keep it hidden. Eventually, I found a small chest hidden amongst a bunch of sand blocks. I opened up the chest, and inside was one item, a potion labeled Dragon Serum. Yes, I found it! I finally found it! I can become a full-size dragon, access my complete powers, and use them to even the score against Dragon Slayer 4000! With the Dragon Serum saved in my inventory, I turned and made my way back to my base. From day 195 to day 197, I worked on my final few upgrades, knowing that the battle that would decide the fate of all the dragons in the overworld would soon come to pass. And if I didn't win, Dragon Slayer 4000 might not just wipe out me, he might have wiped out my entire species. I better go in strong then.
I gave my sword the Sweeping Edge enchantment to increase its power, and also crafted a full set of iron armor. This would give me a better chance in the final fight. But what if the Dragon Slayer 4000 defeats me, then immediately comes back here to attack my friends? I can't let that happen, or at the very least, I can't make it easy for him. I decided that I wasn't going to, so I built the wall around my base thicker, knowing that I'd buy the Guardian of the Forest and the Witch some time to escape if that evil robot did come looking for them. It's all or nothing now! On day 198, I prepared to leave my base and go to the lush tundra so I could take on and decommission this rogue robot once and for all. But what do you want to see next from Zozo? Search ZOZO on the search bar and leave a comment on one of our videos telling us what you'd like to see next. I always love reading through them. Oh, and wish me luck on my battle with Dragon Slayer 4000. I'm gonna need it. Time to settle that age-old debate of robot versus dragon. On day 199, I returned to the abandoned factory in the lush tundra. When I entered the main chamber of the building yet again, the Dragon Slayer 4000 was waiting for me.
Dragon detected.
Yeah, you detected me. Well done. I'm about to get a whole lot easier to detect in a second.
Attempts to intimidate me are futile, Zozo. I will be the agent of your destruction. Activate Battle Axe. Turn shields to 100%. Prepare to be destroyed.
Time for you to take your own advice, you evil bucket of bolts! Before Dragon Slayer 4000 even had a chance to attack me, I drank the Dragon Serum. In an instant, everything changed. I became a huge, powerful Warden Dragon adult with the 100 hearts I had 100 days ago. But that wasn't all. I had a new power now, the Fireball attack.
Dragon detected. Dragon detected. This does not compute.
Compute this! Summoning up every last ounce of my strength, I fired a fire blast directly at the Dragon Slayer 4000!
No!
The blast was so powerful, he was destroyed instantly! I'd reclaimed my former glory, and the dragon-hating machine was finally gone for good! On day 200, with the evil of the Dragon Slayer 4000 finally defeated, and all my fallen dragon friends avenged, I returned back to my base. There, the Guardian of the Forest and the Witch were already waiting to congratulate me. For the first time in over 100 days, I felt like my old dragon self again, and I could finally relax. Don't you just love a happy ending?
On day 1, I spawned into a small village next to the bayou as myself. I'm just a little baby Zozo. Wait, this doesn't make any sense. Something has got to be going on here. I turned and looked at the village around me, trying to spot if anything was out of the ordinary. Nope, there was just a handful of villagers walking around, minding their own business. It's quiet. Too quiet. I don't trust this one bit. And my suspicions were confirmed when I saw a strange shape wandering into the village. It was a Warden Enderman. I'd never seen one before, so I decided to go and talk to him. Hey, Mr. Warden Enderman, I'm Zozo. Are you okay? You're not looking too good.
Sick. I feel sick. Help me!
I'm not sure I'm the right person for that. Maybe you should see a doctor or something?
Help me!
The Warden Enderman stepped forward and touched one of the villagers. Poof! He was immediately transformed into a vicious warden! What? How is that even possible? Suddenly, all of the villagers in the small village started transforming into wardens. It was like there was some kind of warden virus spreading. I need to get out of here. I ran out of the village as fast as I could before any of the wardens had a chance to sonic boom me. Whatever was going on, I needed to stop it, quickly. On day 2, I carried on running out of the village until I was deep in the bayou. It's like I'm trapped in some kind of horror movie. And with only 5 hearts, too. At least I'm safe out here. I can't see any wardens anywhere. But I spoke too soon. It seemed that as soon as I said something out loud, wardens started to surround me. Oh no, it looks like every mob is a warden here. With 5 hearts and no weapons, I knew that I didn't stand a chance against these monsters. I needed to get out of there, so I ran further into the bayou as fast as I could until I couldn't see the wardens behind me. Oh gosh, they could be anywhere. This is so spooky. Another figure came towards me out of the dark. For a second, I panicked until I saw with relief that it was a Crimson Wizard, not a warden.
Are you infected?
What?
We haven't much time. Did Patient Zero touch you? Are you infected, boy?
Patient Zero? Is that the long, lanky guy who can turn people into wardens by touching them?
Yes, that's him. Good. You're not infected then, but you won't be safe here for long. Follow me if you want to stay human.
That was an offer I couldn't turn down. I followed the Crimson Wizard deeper into the bayou, hopefully away from all the wardens chasing us. On day 3, the Crimson Wizard led me to a hideout in the bayou where he said a friend of his was living.
This is the Wood Villager's domain. He's a good man and a valuable ally in these times, but he's not very trusting.
When we arrived, we stopped outside the hideout, and the Wood Villager came out to meet us.
Crimson, this new guy, is he infected? Because if he's infected, I don't want him or you anywhere near this place.
Don't worry, Wood. He's clean. If he'd had any contact with Patient Zero, he would have been turned already.
Good. All healthy. Let's keep it that way. What's your name, kid?
I'm Zozo. Could you please explain to me what's going on here?
Simple. The event I've been predicting for years. The WARDEN apocalypse. If we don't stay safe, everyone in the world could be turned into wardens, and those left will be destroyed by them.
But why? What's causing this?
We're not quite sure. We know it's infectious, and we know the Warden Enderman we call Patient Zero is part of it, but otherwise, we haven't a clue. But if we could find out what's causing the Warden apocalypse, we might be able to stop it.
Then I guess that's exactly what we've got to do. Come with me, Crimson Wizard. Together, we're gonna figure out the secrets of the Warden apocalypse and stop it all together. But first, let's get out of this bayou. It's giving me the creeps. We had our mission. The Crimson Wizard followed me out of the bayou. Together, we needed to solve the mystery and save the world. From day 4 to day 5, the Crimson Wizard and I headed out to the Borealis Grove, which seemed like a nicer place with fewer wardens, where we could build a really cool base. But before we can build an awesome warden defense base, we need some tools. I punched down some trees and turned the wood blocks into wood planks so I could make a crafting table. I then used my crafting table and my spare wood to build my first wooden pickaxe. And we all know there's only one thing that a wooden pickaxe is good for: building a stone pickaxe. I mined some stone and crafted a full set of stone tools and even a stone sword. That's when the Crimson Wizard approached me.
Here, Zozo, take some of these strings. You should really use these and some sticks to build a bow. We don't know how infectious the Warden virus is, so you should only take wardens on at long range.
Great advice, Crimson Wizard. Thank you. I crafted myself a handy bow and then started to work on my base. It was basic at first, just a room for me and a room for the Crimson Wizard. But I also decided to build a furnace next to the base to make some smelting easier later. Once it was done, me and the Crimson Wizard admired all my hard work.
It's a good start, Zozo. We just need to keep developing it from here.
But the day wasn't all building and fun. Before the sun went down, a couple of wardens came towards the base out of the nearby trees. Lucky I've got my trusty bow. Take that! I used my bow to take out the 2 wardens without the risk of infection. What a relief! And defeating them gave me the XP to level up, getting bigger, stronger, and now having 10 hearts. My chances of survival just went up. From day 6 to day 8, with a basic base built and a basic set of weapons and tools crafted, I decided to venture out into another biome, the Black Forest, to look for clues behind what was causing the Warden apocalypse. Jeez, this forest is creepy enough without having to worry about the Warden virus. That's when I saw a forest guardian being hassled by a pair of wardens. They looked like they might be about to hit him with their sonic boom power, and I definitely couldn't let that happen. Get away from him, wardens! I pulled out my bow and shot at the wardens until they were defeated. Then I went in to check if the Forest Guardian was okay. Are you okay, Forest Guardian?
Yes, I am, thanks to you. It was horrible. Those creatures were my friends once, before they turned into wardens. Something nightmarish is happening in the overworld.
The Warden apocalypse! I'm trying to stop it. Is there anything you could tell me that might help me get to the bottom of this?
Yes, perhaps, but there's an even worse infection further into my beloved forest. Come help me with that, then I'll tell you everything I know.
From day 9 to day 10, the Forest Guardian and I went deeper into the Black Forest until we found a grove positively full of deadly wardens. Wow, this is a real infestation. I better take them out quick before it gets even worse. But of course, taking out the wardens was a lot easier said than done, especially because there were just so many of them. The second I fired an arrow at one of them, all the others were immediately alerted. They turned and started coming towards me. One of them even fired a sonic boom, staggering me and knocking off a few of my hearts. It was clear I wasn't strong or skilled enough to fight them yet, and I definitely didn't want them to touch me, so I really needed to get out of there. I ran off, leaving the wardens behind. Once they'd finally stopped chasing me, I ran into the Forest Guardian again. I'm so sorry, Forest Guardian. There were just too many of them. I couldn't do it.
It's okay, Zozo. You tried your best. I'm just glad you weren't infected.
I promise, we'll come back and solve this. We'll solve everything. Want to come back with me to my base in the meantime? There's safety in numbers.
Good idea, Zozo. Lead the way.
From day 11 to day 12, I brought the Forest Guardian back to my base and built a new room for him. I filled it with plenty of plants just to make sure he wasn't homesick.
Thank you, Zozo. This is an excellent room, and including the plants was very thoughtful.
No problem, Forest Guardian. Now, could you tell me everything you know about the Warden-pocalypse? It might hold the key to stopping this whole thing.
Well, I don't know much, but one day this strange, tall creature came wandering through the forest in the middle of the night. I'd never seen anything like it. But I know the day after it happened, that's when so many of the forest dwellers started turning into wardens.
This sounds just like Patient Zero, so he really is behind all of this. Knowing what I did now, I continued working to improve my base and my tools. I mined in the Borealis Grove until I found a vein of iron ore. I took it back to my base and used my furnace and crafting table to smelt and craft it into a full set of iron tools. Now I need to make sure my other supplies are sustainable. I created a paddock on the grounds of my base and herded some sheep into it. After all, you can never be too careful during the Warden-pocalypse. From day 13 to day 15, I approached the Crimson Wizard, who seemed to be the overworld's biggest expert on the Warden-pocalypse. Crimson, I need your advice. I want to gather more information on the Warden-pocalypse, but I don't know where to start.
Perhaps go to the lush red desert. There, we can see how these infected wardens react to different environments. If we're lucky, we might be able to find some kind of weakness we can use.
Following the Crimson Wizard's advice, I journeyed all the way to the lush red desert to find out more. And both luckily and unluckily for me, it looked like it was crawling with wardens. Guess I at least won't be hurting for research subjects. But what I discovered through my research didn't make me feel any better. The infected wardens seemed just as powerful and dangerous in the desert as they did in the bayou or the forest. Stopping the Warden-pocalypse is gonna be a lot harder than I thought. When a few of them attacked me, I was at least able to take them out with my bow, and they dropped a few useful items, some shark tooth arrows for my bow, and a health potion. You can never have enough health. Bottoms up! The potion was a huge help. I went from 10 to 30 hearts immediately. Finally, some good news today. From day 16 to day 19, I continued my search for some useful items or information. That's what led me down into a dark, spooky underground cave. Thankfully, back at my base, I'd made plenty of torches to place along the walls and mark my way. This should shed some light on the situation. I'm glad nobody was down here to hear that. I didn't find any useful crafting items down there, but I did find something strange and interesting all the same. An old book marked Warden Laboratory Research Notes. Most of the pages had been ruined, but one of the ones that hadn't been read. The virus is progressing even faster than we'd initially imagined. Perhaps too fast. I thought it might be the perfect weapon, but it infects and transforms its victims so quickly. It might be too difficult to control. Are we unlocking something truly terrible here? Wait, so people might have actually made the Warden virus? My reading time was interrupted by another warden wandering into the cave. He tried to blast me with his sonic boom, but this time I was able to dodge and fire back with my bow. He went down in one shot, and I was safe once more. I'm becoming quite the Warden Slayer. From day 20 to day 22, I wanted to test out the strength of my new Warden slaying skills some more. I'd noticed that the wardens liked waiting in old or abandoned places, so I found my way to an old abandoned house and searched inside. Sure enough, some wardens were waiting for me, and I easily defeated them with my bow. There may be some hope of stopping the Warden-pocalypse after all. I also found some iron ingots in a chest inside the abandoned house and decided I'd make use of them. I went back to my base and used my crafting table to create a set of iron armor. That should hopefully have made the Warden's sonic booms pack less of a deadly punch. What's a good offense without some good defense after all? The Forest Guardian came out of the house and gave me a few apples he gathered while I was away. He thought I would be starving after my long journey in the desert. Feeling so much stronger and more confident than before, I journeyed deep into the Black Forest once again, until I found the area infested by all those wardens. This time, I'm not running away! Using my superb bow skills, I took out every single one of the wardens and cleared the forest! The Forest Guardian is gonna be so happy when I tell him! I was journeying back to my base through the Borealis Grove when I heard a familiar, creepy voice and saw a familiar, tall, dark shape. It was Patient Zero!
Please, help me. The experiments. My creation.
I was curious about what he said about the so-called experiments, but I was also scared out of my mind. I ran away as fast as I could, and I just hoped Patient Zero wouldn't be following me. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to my base, still feeling a little worried that Patient Zero might be on my tail. I waited outside the base for a few hours with my bow at the ready. I was just lucky that he never showed up. That's one problem I wouldn't have to deal with until later. But I still had some good news to give. I ran over to the Forest Guardian, who was sitting outside and enjoying nature. Forest Guardian, I have great news! I went back to the Black Forest and drove out the Warden infestation. It should be safe for you to return now.
That is great news, Zozo. Thank you for all that you've done. I shall return to the forest now. I wish you luck in bringing the Warden apocalypse to an end. Here is a reward for your help.
He threw me an anvil and a Flame 1 enchantment, and with that, the Forest Guardian left. Already, something else was on my mind. I got lucky that Patient Zero didn't follow me back this time. What if next time I wasn't so lucky? I really need to build some new base defenses and equipment upgrades. First, I upgraded my bow. I placed the anvil at my base, and with the help of the enchanted book Flame 1, I was able to enchant my bow to fire flaming arrows. This will really make it pack a punch. Then, I built a strong defensive wall around my base. You can't have a warden-slaying fortress if wardens can just waltz right in at any time they like. After the wall was done, I stood back and took in how far my base had come. I might just be able to save the world! From day 27 to day 31, I decided it was time to have a change of scenery and explore further for more clues about the origin of the Warden virus. That's why I went to the White Beach. I think I'm onto something, and all this talk of secret labs and experiments, but I'm still missing important information. My thoughts were interrupted when I ran into a small gang of villagers on the run through the beach. They looked worried and frightened. Hey, are you guys okay?
Far from it. An army of wardens attacked our village. Almost everyone was wiped out or changed. And now we have nowhere to live.
You're in luck. Well, aside from the whole village destruction thing, of course. You can head back to my base in the Borealis Grove. I'll keep you safe there while I figure out how to stop the Warden apocalypse. While the villagers headed back to my base, I decided I'd collect a few blocks of sand for a construction project I was working on. When I returned to my base, I added more rooms for the villagers to sleep in. I also used my furnace to turn the sand into glass, so I could give my base some windows. Perfect for keeping an eye out for the Warden hordes out there. Just as I was standing back and appreciating my hard work, the Crimson Wizard ran towards me in a panic.
Zozo, there's trouble going down in the bayou. Big trouble. I need your help.
From day 32 to day 35, the Crimson Wizard and I ran back to the Wood Villagers' hideout in the bayou. Crimson was right about him being in trouble, because by the time we had made it to the hideout, it was already overrun with wardens. We'll come save you, Woody!
No, don't be reckless. It's already too late for me. Get out of here and save yourselves.
I didn't want to believe it was true. I pulled out my new fire-enchanted bow and shot flaming arrow after flaming arrow into the wardens until none were left standing. Then I ran in to see how the wood villager was doing.
Stop right there.
But why? I saved you.
No, you don't understand. I'm infected, Zozo. I'm sorry, but like I told you, it's already too late for me.
Poof! The wood villager turned into a warden and fired a sonic boom at me. It was hard, but I had no choice. I fired a flaming arrow at the warden that had once been the wood villager, and he was no more. From day 36 to day 39, I needed to get away from the bayou and from the Borealis Grove. I was still so shaken up after what happened to the wood villager. I just couldn't stand it. That's why I went to the tropical rainforest, wandering around and feeling the sunshine and thick tropical air washing all my troubles away. That's when I ran into the illager from the faraway lands, a mysterious stranger walking through the rainforest. Hey, Mr. Illager, I was taking kind of a vacation day out here, but since you're around, would you happen to know anything about the Warden Apocalypse?
Oh, I know a lot about the Warden Apocalypse. A lot. But I won't give you that information for free. It comes at a price.
Name it.
There are some more of those blasted wardens near here. They chased me out of my favorite part of the rainforest. Go destroy them, and we'll talk.
Deal! Following the Illager's instructions, I searched around the nearby forest until I happened upon a group of wardens wandering around, searching for fresh victims. It didn't take long for me to take them all out with my bow and flaming arrows. Then I made my way back to the Illager, eager to find out more about what I was really facing out here. Tell me everything you know about the one they call Patient Zero, the Warden Enderman. He's the one who caused all this. I need to understand him.
He wasn't always a monster. Well, not in the literal sense anyway. He was a scientist once, and quite a brilliant one at that. But as time went on, his experiments got stranger and stranger. And then, when people started refusing to work with him, he started doing experiments on himself. I imagine one day he went too far and became the Patient Zero you know today.
So, he was normal once. Interesting. Maybe, deep down, there's something in there I can still reason with. From day 40 to day 43, I returned to my base, turning over all the new information I'd learned in my mind. I also missed having the Forest Guardian around, so I decided, as a tribute to him, to add a bunch more plants and flowers to my base. It really brightened the place up and helped to remind me about what I was fighting for. After I'd put in all these new beautiful natural decorations, I was approached by some of the villagers I'd sent back to my base earlier. They needed another favor.
Zozo, we've heard from some friends and family members from other villages who have been chased out by the wardens too. They need a place to stay. Can they come join us here?
Of course! Tell them to come over. I'll make room for them all. As the new villagers flooded in, I built barracks with bunk beds to hold them all. It made me feel safe to know how many people would be here at the base with us, and the villagers seemed happy with the new arrangement too.
We couldn't be more grateful, Zozo. You're genuinely saving lives here.
Please, all in a day's work.
Though we were wondering if we could ask you for one more favor. We're a little worried about what happened to a village a ways north of here. We have family and friends there. Would you be able to go and check it out?
Of course, if it puts your minds at ease and potentially lets me help more people, it's more than worth the trip. But when I made that agreement, I had no idea just how bad things would get. From day 44 to day 49, I followed the instructions given to me by the villagers at my base and traveled all the way to a village on the other side of the Borealis Grove. Hello? Anyone there? Gosh, this place is giving me the creeps. I walked through the village and found that nobody seemed to be there. There were a few little abandoned houses and one bigger house that I assume maybe belonged to the village mayor. But now, there was nobody here. Well, almost nobody. Suddenly, the last person I wanted to see, Patient Zero, came wandering out from between the houses.
Must keep going. Have to keep spreading it. The beautiful sickness.
Wait, I know who you really are. Kinda. I know you used to be a scientist. Can't we just be reasonable and talk all this out? There's got to be some of you still in there.
Maybe once, but not now. Sorry, can't control myself anymore. My creation has the will. The Warden Apocalypse cannot be stopped.
And with that, Patient Zero wandered off. But as soon as he was gone, a gang of wardens that must have once been the villagers, started surrounding me. Too many for me to just stand and shoot. I need to get out of here before I get infected. From day 50 to day 53, I ran to the only place I could to buy me some time from the advancing army of wardens, into the large house. I ran in and closed the door behind me, quickly running up to the top floor. I knew I couldn't escape them from there, but at least it would give me some time to plan. I hid inside what must have been the house's master bedroom, but while I was there, I couldn't help but notice that there was a bookmarked diary. Normally, it's extremely rude to read someone's diary, but since this person was probably transformed into a warden, I figured it was okay. And I'm glad I did, because it read, "Curses! I should have never agreed to work with that awful scientist. All the men I lost to getting him those skulk shriekers from the deep dark for his experiments. I betrayed my people for nothing. But I couldn't read for long. Suddenly, the wardens burst in, and I pulled out my bow. Firing as quickly as I could, I managed to defeat them all. Now it was time to get out of the village before any more could show up. From day 54 to day 57, I left the abandoned house and found that the ship had already sailed on stopping more from showing up. There were a whole bunch of wardens outside, waiting for me, ready to attack. I was just very lucky that I still had plenty of arrows, or my goose would have been cooked. Time to send these wardens back to the deep dark. I fired and fired until there were no wardens left. One of them even dropped something, a dagger. Maybe he was trying to use it to defeat Patient Zero, but he got infected in the process. I won't make that same mistake. I grabbed the dagger and ran back to my base as fast as I could. The Crimson Wizard was waiting for me. Crimson, I think I have some valuable information. Patient Zero used to be a scientist, and I found out from an old diary that his Warden virus experiments involved using Skulk Shriekers.
Skulk Shriekers, of course! Zozo, this is a game changer. If you can get me some Skulk Shriekers from the deep dark, I might be able to manufacture a vaccine.
Vaccine? What's that?
It's a special chemical compound made from a weak or dead version of the virus, which allows the body's immune system, that's the part of your body that fights off diseases, to recognize and better fight it off. If we can create a proper vaccine for the Warden virus using the Skulk Shriekers, we can make everyone immune.
That sounds like an amazing idea, Crimson. We might finally turn the Warden apocalypse around. From day 58 to day 62, I prepared to undertake this new part of the mission, obtaining the Skulk Shriekers to make the Warden virus vaccine. But first, I needed to upgrade my gear in my base in case of a potential counterattack. First, I expanded my paddock and included even more sheep, just to make sure we had spares if the Warden virus somehow started spreading among sheep too. And if I have trouble getting to sleep at night, I can always come out here and count them. Then, I traveled to a nearby diamond mine that one of the villagers told me about and started mining precious diamonds. Diamonds are a Warden Slayer's best friend. Once I'd obtained them, I returned to my base and forged a full set of diamond armor, along with some cool diamond tools and weapons. I was better defended than ever before. Time to find some Skulk Shriekers! From day 63 to day 66, I went to the Crimson Wizard in my full diamond armor and asked for some instructions.
I recommend you head to the Shattered Glacier, Zozo. It's one of the few places I know of in the overworld that has a safe tunnel leading to the deep dark. That's your best bet at finding Skulk Shriekers.
Following the Crimson Wizard's advice, I journeyed all the way over to the Shattered Glacier. Lucky for me, there didn't seem to be many wardens around, just lots and lots of ice. Yeesh, I should have brought a warmer jacket. It's totally freezing out here. Soon enough, I came upon a fortress guarded by a huge ice Vile Ogre. He looked tough and dangerous, so I immediately started worrying that he'd want to fight.
Who goes there? I'm the guardian of this place.
And what exactly is this place?
The tunnel to the deep dark. But I'm not letting anyone in. There's been a dangerous Warden infestation in there, and I can't let civilians wander in willy-nilly.
But I'm not just any civilian. I'm a professional Warden Slayer, and I'm searching for the Skulk Shriekers that'll help my friend, the Crimson Wizard, create a vaccine for the Warden virus.
You're a Warden Slayer, huh? Prove it. There are some Wardens just west of here. Take care of them, and I'll let you into the deep dark.
Deal. From day 67 to day 70, I did what the Ice Vile Ogre Guardian told me to do, and went off in search of the local Warden infestation. These creatures are so hardy, they can seemingly survive in any biome. This is why I really need those Skulk Shriekers. Eventually, I found a small swarm of Wardens. Lucky for me, I was able to get the element of surprise on them. I pulled out my enchanted bow and took them all out, one by one. But with all my confidence, I didn't expect one of them to have snuck up on me from behind. It hit me with a sonic boom, stunning me, and then starting to get closer. If it touched me, I might have gotten infected. So I picked myself back up and ran away as fast as I could. When I'd made some decent distance, I turned around and shot it with my bow, finally finishing off this Warden infestation. With that taken care of, I returned to the Ice Vile Ogre at the compound.
You have proven yourself. I'll let you go down to the deep dark. Just be careful down there. Your luck can change in an instant.
He stepped aside, revealing a dark, deep hole into the ground with a ladder. From day 71 to day 74, I climbed down into the deep dark. Just like the name said, it was really deep and really dark, and it took me forever to climb down there. When I reached the bottom, I realized that the Ice Vile Ogre's warning was completely true. There were several wardens at the bottom, waiting for me. I needed to pull out my enchanted bow and shoot at them to scare them away. Maybe the Crimson Wizard should have sent somebody else to do this. After I'd defeated and scared off some of the wardens, I searched deeper into the deep dark. It was certainly spooky down there. Luckily, I eventually found some Skulk Shriekers and used my diamond pickaxe to harvest them. Hopefully this will be enough for the Crimson Wizard to start producing the vaccine. I was heading back to the ladder when suddenly a familiar figure wandered out of the darkness towards me. It was him, Patient Zero!
What are you doing here? I'm trying to collect more samples for my research. Are you a thief, little one?
In a panic, I pulled out my bow and tried shooting him, but it didn't have any effect. And I didn't want to get any closer in case I got infected. I ran around him as fast as I could and started climbing the ladder back up to the surface. I still wasn't ready to face him just yet. From day 75 to day 78, I returned back to my base, shaken by my encounter with Patient Zero, but still feeling proud of myself for getting the Skulk Shriekers. Of course, I immediately gave them over to the Crimson Wizard.
This is amazing, Zozo. Give me a day or so and I'll see what I can whip up.
While the Crimson Wizard was working away on the vaccine for the Warden virus, I decided to make some base improvements, like making the wall taller so I could have better defenses against Warden attacks. By the time all my construction projects were done, the Crimson Wizard had something for me.
I think I've done it, Zozo. I think I've created a Warden virus vaccine potion. But I need to be able to test it before we give it to people.
It's okay, Crimson. You can test it on me.
Are you sure, Zozo? It's still experimental.
If it helps save the world, it's a risk I'm willing to take. I drank the Warden virus vaccine, and the change was immediate. Not only was I now immune to the virus, I was bigger, stronger, and had 60 hearts.
These results are incredible, Zozo. We must share it with the world. Here, take as many Warden virus vaccines as you can carry. Give them to as many friendly people as you can. Together, we'll stop the Warden apocalypse once and for all.
From day 79 to day 84, I decided I'd take advantage of my new immunity and roam the Badlands, taking on any Warden that I saw. It felt great to finally be on top of things and know that the end of the Warden apocalypse may finally be in sight. During my exciting Warden-slaying adventures, I came across an old hunter also wandering the Badlands. Mr. Hunter, my friend created a Warden virus vaccine. If you and everyone you know takes these, you can avoid getting infected. Please, take a bunch.
This is incredible! What do you want in return, kind sir?
Nothing. The more people have these, the safer we're all going to be.
Then please, as a token of my gratitude, at least take this crossbow. I've used it on many a warden myself. Believe me, it packs a mean punch.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. I'll use it well. From day 85 to day 89, after giving Warden virus vaccine potions to as many people as I could, I came back to my base to stock up again, only to find that it was being attacked by another gang of infected wardens. This wasn't supposed to happen. Using my new crossbow, I started shooting at the wardens, taking out a few of them and scaring the rest away. But I couldn't just let them escape. If they did, they might infect more people. I immediately turned and started running after them as fast as I could. But on the way through the Borealis Grove, I saw an innocent Vile Ogre being surrounded by another group of wardens. I wasn't about to let him get infected too, so I ran in, crossbow blazing. Thankfully, I was able to take out all those wardens before they could infect the Vile Ogre with the Warden virus. I gave him one of the vaccine potions too, just to be safe.
You won't regret this, Zozo. Someday, I will repay this kindness. You have my word.
From day 90 to day 94, I continued my chase after the wardens deep into the Borealis forest. Little did I know, these infected wardens had set up a trap for me. I reached a clearing and used my crossbow to take out a few of the wardens, only to find that there were way more waiting for me, coming at me from every angle. For a second, I thought I was doomed. Then I remembered the most important thing. I'd taken the vaccine. I was immune. Remembering this, I pulled out my diamond sword and decided to take on the wardens directly. Let's do this. I'm canceling the Warden apocalypse. From day 95 to day 97, I kept fighting, using my diamond sword to mow through the Warden army like a dad's lawnmower through grass. Soon enough, I defeated every single one of them, and all that was left on the floor was a single book. I picked it up, and just like the damaged book I'd found so long ago, it was titled Warden Laboratory Research Notes. One of these wardens must have been another scientist at the lab. I leafed through the pages. One part read, "Things are getting out of hand. There have been way too many incidents lately. The lead researcher is getting reckless as his obsession with the Warden virus grows. I fear that if we don't get control of this soon, the Warden virus might leak out into the Zelkova forest and maybe even beyond." The Zelkova forest! That must be where the lab is! I can go down there and finish all of this once and for all! On day 98, I returned to my base to tell the Crimson Wizard and the leader of the villagers the good news. I gathered them together to share. Guys, I think I finally have what it takes to finish the Warden apocalypse and save the world. I found out that the lab where the Warden virus started is in the Zelkova forest. I'm gonna defeat Patient Zero and destroy the entire lab, so this never happens again.
I wish you luck, Zozo, but I don't think you'll need it. You've become the greatest Warden Slayer the world has ever known. I'll continue sharing the Warden virus vaccine while you're gone to help the world become immune.
Thank you, Crimson Wizard. I never could have done any of this without you. Then the leader of the villagers gave me a gift. If you can call 64 blocks of TNT a gift.
Hey, if you want to destroy the whole lab, you're gonna need some serious explosive power.
Thanks, villager. Just, why do you have this?
Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answers to, kid.
And with that, I was ready to go and save the world from the Warden virus. On day 99, I traveled all the way to the Zelkova forest, hoping to find the lab and destroy the evil of the Warden virus. On the way there, I ran into the King Pig and decided to give him some of the Warden virus vaccines for his pig kingdom.
Thank you, Zozo. You can do this. I believe in you.
After searching a little longer, I found the lab. It was abandoned and crawling with wardens around the outside. Even if they couldn't infect me, there was no way I could take them all out and still defeat Patient Zero afterwards. But then, just as I needed him most, the vile ogre I saved earlier ran in, ready to fight.
I told you I'd repay your kindness someday, Zozo, and that day is today. You go in there and take down the big boss. I'll take care of these warning creeps for you.
On day 100, I entered the abandoned laboratory, which was somehow even creepier than the deep dark. I wandered through the halls, encountering warden after warden and taking them down with my crossbow. It was why the only way to end this was to defeat Patient Zero and destroy the lab altogether. Eventually, in the largest room of the lab, I found him waiting for me. It's time for this to end, Patient Zero. The Warden apocalypse is over.
Fool! You have no idea what you're dealing with. The Warden apocalypse is just beginning. On a long enough timeline, the virus will mutate, becoming bigger and stronger until nobody can stop it.
That's why I need to stop you right now. He hit me and was astonished to see that I didn't transform into a warden.
No, this is impossible. How could you be immune to my beautiful virus?
We took the vaccine. It's over, Patient Zero. There's only one cure for you. I pulled out my dagger and destroyed Patient Zero in one shot. All that was left to do was destroy the lab itself, so nobody could ever find his work. I went back outside and put TNT all around the lab, completely surrounding it with the explosive blocks. Afterwards, I stood back and fired a single flaming arrow. Boom! The lab was completely destroyed, and the Warden apocalypse was truly over. On day 1, I spawned in as MRBEAST, the YouTuber famous for his big money and crazy challenges. But wait, I'm so small and I don't even have a beard. I'm not MRBEAST, I'm Baby Beast. Before I could think about increasing my size or my fortune, a big mean bounty hunter came running out of some nearby woods. Uh-oh, is that a bow and arrow?
That's right, and I'm a dead shot with this thing too. I'm the toughest, nastiest bounty hunter around these parts, and you better start running, cause someone put a bounty on your head.
A bounty? What does that mean?
It means someone is gonna pay me the big bucks if I can capture you in 100 days. And trust me, it won't take 100 days, cause I'm the best there is.
Before I could say anything else, he started firing at me. The bounty hunter was such a good shot, I had to run for my life deeper into the forest. Well, he just laughed at me. Escape this bounty hunter for 100 days? Boy, do I have my work cut out for me this time. On day 2, I made my way into the closest forest I could find. I didn't stop, knowing that the bounty hunter might still be chasing me. Here in the trees, I have way more cover. It'll be harder for the bounty hunter to hit me with his arrows. Gosh, and I definitely don't want to get hit by those arrows. I only have 3 lousy hearts. I kept running, looking over my shoulder now and then to see if anybody was following me. Phew, it looks like I might have lost him. For now, anyway. That's when a huge gorilla charged out of the trees. He was buff and tough, as you'd probably expect from a gorilla. Sorry that I'm in your forest, Mr. Gorilla. I'd give you some money for it, but I'm not full Mr. Beast yet. It's an emergency though. I'm being chased by a bounty hunter. The gorilla laughed.
Yeah, I know you're being chased by a bounty hunter because he hired me to help him. If I take you to him, we're gonna split the bounty.
Oh, come on, that's not fair. How can you sleep at night going after innocent people like this?
Believe me, the bounty money will help. With that money, I'll be a gorillionaire.
And with that, he attacked me, pounding me with his huge gorilla fists. I tried to fight back, but without any weapons and only my puny punches, I didn't leave a scratch on him.
Huh, this really is like taking candy from a baby.
Just when it seemed like all was lost, a donkey with a saddle came running at us out of the woods.
Hop on my back if you want to live.
So I hopped on the donkey's back, and she carried me out of there. That was close, too close. That'll do, donkey, that'll do. On day 3, the kind donkey who saved me took me back to her secret hideout, deep in the woods. There, I met the donkey's friend, a pig who was also hiding out.
This is Napoleon. He's the smartest pig I've ever met.
Well, I don't know about the smartest, but I definitely know a thing or two.
Wait, that's perfect. If you're super smart, then maybe you can help me with my quest.
What quest is that?
I'm being chased by the meanest, scariest bounty hunter in the world, and if he gets me in the next 100 days, I'm toast.
They say the best defense is a good offense. If you don't want this bounty hunter fella to get to you, then you need to stay under the radar, get strong, and get him first.
Now that's a cool idea. How would I start, Napoleon?
You're gonna need tools, weapons, and a secret base for starters, and from there, the training will begin.
Taking Napoleon's advice, Donkey and I set off further into the forest. The bounty hunter wouldn't get me over the next 100 days, I'd get him. On days 4 to 5, Donkey and I decided to start gathering our first materials. The forest was full of trees, so it wouldn't be hard to find wood. Come on, Donkey, let's get ourselves some wooden blocks. It wasn't easy to punch down the trees, but with the help of Donkey, we'd soon broken down enough trees to make a crafting bench and some basic wooden tools. It's crafting time. I made myself a wooden pickaxe, perfect for a low-level player like me.
But why settle for a low-level tool? You'll be able to mine, chop, and harvest even faster with stone tools.
Donkey had a point. I used my wooden pickaxe to mine into the ground and collect some stone blocks. Then, with the help of my crafting bench, I created my first set of stone tools. But most importantly of all, I made myself my first formidable weapon, a super cool stone sword. Let's see that bounty hunter mess with me now. The next piece of advice Napoleon had given me was building a secret hideout. It couldn't be too obvious, or the bounty hunter would find me easily. I picked a spot between some trees and started mining downwards. Underground would be the perfect spot for my base. I built some stairs and a place for Donkey and I to sleep underground, with some torches to light the way. Hopefully the bounty hunter would never notice us here. But all this mining and crafting had worked up a hunger in me. That's when I noticed an apple on the ground. Oh, that's perfect! I picked up the apple and ate it, then something amazing happened. I leveled up, growing into a slightly bigger Mr. Beast, with 4 hearts now, rather than 3. This is awesome! Next I need to start growing my bank account. On days 6 to 8, I decided to go exploring the plains again. The bounty hunter would probably never expect me to go back there. Still, I didn't want to push my luck. That's why I kept a low profile, crouching and trying to sneak around as much as I could. When you're up against a crazy bounty hunter, stealth is a good skill to practice. But my stealth came under fire when I saw an innocent young gazelle getting chased by a gang of spooky husks. I wanted to stay under the radar, but I could not help someone in trouble. Get away from her, you nasty husks! I pulled out my stone sword and charged in, ready to take them all on. But the battle wasn't as easy as I'd hoped. The husks attacked back, and I was fighting for my life. One of the husks attacked me and knocked off some of my hearts. That's it, no more Mr. Nice Beast. Fueled by my determination, I fought back, and soon all the husks were destroyed. Then the gazelle came in to thank me.
Thank you, you saved me. I'll be forever in your debt.
Don't mention it, Gazelle. Is there anything else I could do to help?
Well, I was wandering across the plains with my father, Papa Gazelle, when all these undead attacked. He told me to run, but he's still trapped back there. Can you help him?
Of course, Gazelle. Let's do it. On days 9 to 10, me and the young gazelle ran across the plains, looking for her father. He had to be around here somewhere.
Look, that's him, over there.
I turned and saw the last thing I wanted to see. Papa Gazelle being chased by a wither boss. He was firing explosive skulls and barely missing the poor gazelle. Uh-oh, withers are stronger than anything else I've faced.
Please, we need to try. It's the only way to save my papa.
I couldn't say no to that, so I once again took up my sword and ran towards the wither, trying to hide my fear. Pick on someone your own size, wither. So then, he started picking on me. The wither turned and fired a flaming skull that exploded on the ground next to me. I immediately knew there was no way I'd be able to win this fight at my current strength. I'll never be able to stop the bounty hunter if I get destroyed by a wither. Feeling ashamed of myself, I ran away. I retreated back to the young gazelle. Come back to my base with me, Gazelle. We'll figure out a way to save your dad back there. On days 11 to 12, I came back to my base with Gazelle, ready to make some upgrades and improvements. We went underground, and I mined an additional room for Gazelle to sleep in. But that's when I realized something important. An underground base is a great hideout, but if the bounty hunter finds us here, we're trapped. I need to build an escape tunnel. So that's what I started building. The escape tunnel would be an ongoing project though. I couldn't build one big enough for us all in just one day. During my day of mining and crafting, I paid another visit to Donkey and asked her what she knew about the bounty hunter and why he could have been after me.
Well, it's probably got something to do with the prophecy.
Prophecy? What prophecy?
For the longest time, humans have kept the beasts down. You know, beasts like me and Napoleon and Gazelle, and humans like it that way. But prophecy tells of a human who will liberate the beasts from human control and deliver us all to freedom. The prophecies say that this man would be named Mr. Beast.
Wait, Mr. Beast? I'm playing Mr. Beast. Maybe the prophecy is about me.
That explains everything. The humans must think you're going to free all of the beasts, so they pooled their money together to hire the best bounty hunter in the world, the man who's known for being able to capture anybody. But if you can defeat him, you might be able to free the beasts.
But I wasn't even strong enough to beat the wither yet. I needed to get a lot stronger before I could do that. In the meantime, I used my stone tools to start mining for iron underground. This would help make all my tools and weapons stronger. After a short time, I found a nice stash of iron and mined it up. And it isn't all about fighting, it's important to have food too. That's why I started adding extra chests into my underground base where I could store all the apples I collected from the forest. On days 13 to 15, I once again returned to Donkey and asked her for advice on how I could get stronger.
Well, the best way to get stronger is by training. And the only way to train is to really test yourself. Which biomes have you visited?
Now that you mention it, Donkey, I've only ever visited the forest and the plains.
There's your problem. You're never gonna get stronger if you don't master every biome. Try to defeat a powerful enemy in the desert next.
Great idea, Donkey! Before I headed to the desert biome, I needed to upgrade my equipment. I used the iron I'd mined to forge myself a new set of iron tools and some iron armor. And like Napoleon had said earlier, sometimes the best defense is a good offense, so I made myself a cool iron sword too. I'm feeling stronger already! I left my base and crossed the forest until I found myself at the desert biome. Already, this place was way nastier than the other biomes. In my new armor, the heat was killing me. Speaking of killing me, that's also when the gorilla appeared from behind and hit me.
Thought you could forget about your pal, the gorillionaire, huh? That's a mistake you'll pay dearly for, my friend.
What? How did you sneak up on me like that?
I have my ways. Now it's time for me to take you down. I'm gonna get that bounty.
The gorilla attacked me again, but this time I was stronger. His punches didn't do nearly as much damage against my iron armor. Now it's my turn, gorillionaire. With a few hits from my iron sword, he was down and I'd won. That's when I saw he dropped a frontiersman cap. This lets the wearer move faster while sneaking. This must have been how he snuck up on me. I equipped the hat myself. This would be super helpful in avoiding that awful bounty hunter. Just then, I started to feel stronger and I gained another heart. 5 hearts? That's more like it. I guess the desert training was worth it. Feeling better than before, I went back to my base and continued working on my escape tunnel. We made some good progress, but I wasn't going to feel much safer until it was complete. On days 16 to 19, I decided it was time to try getting rich by exploring an underground cavern. After all, you can't be Mr. Beast without getting rich. I bet there are some great precious gemstones down here. I used my iron pickaxe to easily mine through the stone all around me, setting up torches along the way so I could see where I was going. That's when suddenly, an elder skulk crawled toward me out of the darkness.
Bet you never thought you'd see me down here.
No offense, dude, but I don't even know who you are.
I'm the Elder Skulk, and I'm working with the bounty hunter to bring you down.
Jeez, why is everybody working with this meanie? I don't get it.
Money, my boy. It makes the world go round. If you have enough money, you can do anything.
Even pay you guys to leave me alone?
Sure, but you're gonna need a lot of money to beat what all the humans are paying us to come after you. Now let's go.
But I wasn't gonna go down without a fight. As the Elder Skull came running at me, I dodged his most powerful attack and took out my sword. It only took a few choice swings to take the monster down, but at least he'd given me a new idea. If I can't beat the bounty hunter, maybe I can buy him. On days 20 to 22, I made my way back to the desert for more training. I was also gathering materials for more upgrades to my gear. That's when I got attacked by a swarm of spiders, all trying to bite and sting me. You guys are so rude. Can't you see I'm in the middle of something here? It didn't take long for me to swat those nasty insects with my sword. Then they dropped a protection enchantment along with some string. This will make my armor even stronger. I applied the enchantment and felt my confidence rising too. That's when I remembered something important. Papa Gazelle, I can save him now. As quickly as I could, I ran across the desert and returned to the plains. I saw the same sad display. Poor Papa Gazelle getting chased around by the Wither Boss, who was still firing skulls at him. I've had all I can stand, and I can't stand it anymore. It's time to take this Wither Boss out. I ran in, sword blazing, dodging every flaming skull the Wither Boss blasted at me. With one carefully aimed strike, the Wither Boss was gone. You're free now, Papa Gazelle. Go home, and I'll send your kid back to you. Papa Gazelle ran off. I'd finally gotten strong enough to free him. Maybe I could save myself from the bounty hunter after all.
How sweet. You saved the gazelle, but it won't save you.
I turned and saw the bounty hunter aiming his bow at me. How did you find me?
You weren't exactly being subtle, kid, and you should know by now, I'm the best there is.
He fired an arrow and got me square in the chest. Even with my enchanted armor, he knocked off some of my hearts. I better get out of here before he shoots me again. I ran away, zigzagging to avoid more arrows.
You can run, but you can't hide. No matter where you go, I will hunt you down. You'll never be Mr. Beast.
On days 23 to 26, I returned to my base, at least happy to have some good news for one of my friends. I found the young Gazelle chilling out in the room I'd built for her. Gazelle, I defeated the Wither Boss and saved your dad. He's back at your house waiting for you.
That's amazing, thank you! I can't wait to see him again. I'll never forget this.
With the young Gazelle gone back to her family home, it left me with a free room. A room I quickly started turning into an armory. The bounty hunter is a master of weapons, so I need to get just as good if I'm going to beat him. The main thing I needed was a ranged weapon, so I could fight back without getting too close. That's why I made myself a cool new crossbow. But it wasn't just the crossbow I built. I continued working on the escape tunnel. If my calculations were correct, by the time it was done, if the bounty hunter attacked my base, we could all escape all the way to the mountains. On days 27 to 31, I finished my escape tunnel and used it to travel all the way to the mountains. This will be the perfect way to get out of danger if I need to.
Out of danger, you say?
I turned to see that a snow leopard had somehow snuck up on me. I pointed my crossbow at him just to be safe. What are you doing here, snow leopard? Do you work with the bounty hunter?
What? Heavens no! The bounty hunter aligned with the humans, just like the horde of Viking villagers who destroyed my home.
They destroyed your home? That's terrible. Let me help you.
How do I know you don't just side with the other humans?
I'm not just any human, Snow Leopard. I'm Mr. Beast, the friend to all beasts. Go and stay at my base. You can take the escape tunnel. We'll make a plan to get back to your home later.
Oh, thank you, kind stranger. In exchange for your generosity, I'll tell you the location of a cave with diamonds near here.
The Snow Leopard marked it on my map and left back through the escape tunnel. I continued searching until I discovered the cave. And just like the Snow Leopard told me, there were some diamond deposits for me to mine in there. Jackpot! I'll be as rich as Mr. Beast in no time. I returned to my base, back through my escape tunnel. With all my new diamonds, I realized how drab my base looked. I crafted and added some banners and bookshelves to give it some ambiance. That's when the snow leopard approached me again.
I sense a terrible disturbance. The Vikings who destroyed my home. I believe they've invaded the forest. We need to stop them at once.
On days 32 to 35, Snow Leopard and I left the base and ventured back out into the forest, hoping to hunt down the Viking villagers who had destroyed his home in the mountains.
Look, there they are. I'd recognize them anywhere.
I looked straight ahead and saw what the Snow Leopard had seen. A group of armed Viking villagers surrounding the secret hideout of Napoleon the Pig. He was doing his best to reason with them.
I don't want any trouble, fellas. I swear. I'm just a humble pig. Leave me be.
But they weren't listening. The Viking villagers were about to attack Napoleon. I pulled out my crossbow and started blasting, hoping to distract them. Instead, it all broke out into chaos. Some of the Viking villagers ran towards me. Bird ran forward to meet and fight them. But as much as I tried to fire more crossbow bolts at the Viking villagers running for Napoleon, I was already too late. They destroyed him and burned down his hideout. Napoleon, no! This unlocked the secret rage of me and Snow Leopard. We charged in, him using his claws and teeth, and me pulling out my sword. It didn't take long for us to defeat the remaining Viking villagers.
I'm so sorry about your friend. Perhaps humans and beasts can never live in harmony.
On days 36 to 39, I needed a change of scenery to help me process Napoleon's death. I decided to make my way to the beach, sneaking all the way to make sure that the bounty hunter didn't come after me when I was most vulnerable. That's exactly the kind of mean move he'd go for. But while I was exploring the beach, I found another beast hanging around, a boar. He looked like he needed some help, and because he reminded me of Napoleon, I decided I'd do whatever I needed to. What's up, Mr. Boar? Do you have a problem that a Mr. Beast could help with?
I was fishing for some magic yellow fish in the nearby ocean, but a small group of aggressive giant lobsters stopped me.
I can take care of them, no problem at all. I found my way to the boar's fishing spot and saw the lobsters skittering around, snipping their big red claws. But they were no match for my crossbow. I pulled it out, and with a few well-placed shots, all the lobsters were gone. It felt good to be able to help someone after I'd had such a bad day. I went back to the boar and told him the good news. In return, he told me something interesting. The bounty hunter had a weakness. His powers were reduced in the dark. Thanks for the tip, Mr. Boar. That'll probably come in real handy. On days 40 to 43, I returned to my base and continued to spruce it up. I installed lanterns down the length of the escape tunnel just to make it easier to use. That's when Donkey approached me with a request.
I heard about some horse friends of mine that escaped from a human stable. Would you mind building some extra rooms for them down here so they have somewhere to be?
Of course, Donkey. That'll be no problem at all. I mined a few extra rooms and widened the entrance to the secret base so we could fit some of Donkey's new horse friends inside. The more the merrier. While the horses filed in, Snow Leopard came into my room and shared some vital information.
My Snow Leopard senses have been speaking to me again. There's an abandoned mine deep in the forest that I visited once. I have a feeling you may find something you're looking for there. Just be warned, it may be looking for you too.
On days 44 to 49, I made my way deep into the forest in the dead of night. I started traveling at night more often since the boar told me the bounty hunter's weakness. Soon enough, I'm gonna be strong enough to beat you, bounty hunter. Eventually, I found the abandoned mine that the Snow Leopard had told me about and crept inside. It was dark and spooky in the abandoned mine, so I used some torches to light the way. However, the second the torches were in place, I heard something coming towards me. Hey, who goes there? I was lucky and dodged in time, as an arrow flew towards me and embedded itself in the wall next to me. An arrow that could have only belonged to one person I knew, the bounty hunter.
Hello again. You've fallen right into my trap.
The bounty hunter stepped out of the darkness. I know about the prophecy, bounty hunter. I know why the humans paid you. They know I'm Mr. Beast, and they hate the beasts, so they want to stay in control of them. The bounty hunter laughed.
They don't hate the beasts. They're jealous of the beasts. They were born with brains, but the beasts were born with natural strength and instincts. What they really want is to harness the beasts, produce something with the mind of a human and the strength of a beast.
Such a thing is impossible, bounty hunter.
Impossible? You fool, it's already happened.
Then, another thing charged out of the dark towards me. A creature I'd never seen before. A huge villager beast. A fusion of human and beast. And it was ready to fight me.
Good luck. You're gonna need it.
And with that, the bounty hunter disappeared, leaving only me and the villager beast. It was time to fight! On days 50 to 53, the villager beast ran at me, moving faster than I'd ever seen a human move before. I fired at him with the crossbow, hitting him with multiple arrows, but it didn't even seem to hurt or slow him down. The villager beast rammed into me and knocked me back against the wall, almost stunning me. I pulled out my sword and tried to fight back. It was shockingly fast and strong, managing to deflect or simply ignore most of my attacks. In the end, it took all the strength I had to finally defeat this unnatural monster. Jeez, I hope I never have to fight one of those horrible things again. When the villager beast died, it left a book marked research notes on the ground. It seemed to have been written by some kind of evil scientist, probably the one who'd first made this monster.
The tests are going well, but the subject is still far too weak. I need the bounty hunter to capture even stronger creatures if I'm to master the fusion and create the ultimate combination of human and beast. The time will soon come when I have perfected the process, and then nothing will stop us.
Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good. On days 54 to 57, I climbed out of the abandoned mine, shaken by my fight with the villager beast. It seemed that the plans the bounty hunter was involved with were so much worse than I thought. I wanted to go back to my base and warn the others, but when I left the mine, Sven the Viking, one of the strongest Viking warriors of all, was waiting for me, sword at the ready.
Well, you survived. That's impressive. The villager beast is a powerful creature, but my instructions are clear. The bounty hunter told me to destroy you if you survived and escaped, so I guess that's what's gonna happen now. Sorry.
I didn't have the time or patience to listen to Sven's babbling, so I fired at him with my crossbow. Once, twice, 3 times. But somehow, every time, he dodged. Can't we just talk this out, man? I pulled out my sword, and Sven kept attacking me. He was a strong fighter, but I'd beaten the villager beast, so he didn't seem that challenging in comparison. Once he was gone, he dropped an interesting item on the ground. Some Outback leggings, which massively increase your ability to dodge projectiles. So that's how he kept dodging my crossbow bolts. I better take these for myself. They'll probably come in handy for the next time I face the bounty hunter. After I equipped the Outback leggings, I made my way back to the base. I met with the snow leopard again, told him about all the crazy things that had happened, and showed him the book that I collected from the villager beast.
This is troubling. These writings, they seem to be the work of the Plague Doctor, a mad scientist who had theories about fusing humans and beasts to create the ultimate creatures. I thought he was gone, but he seemingly returned. This means all of us are in danger. It's worse than I possibly could have thought. On days 58 to 62, after receiving the disturbing news from Snow Leopard about the Plague Doctor, I decided to work on improving and upgrading the base however I could. First came the escape tunnel. I built a track along the floor of the cave so a minecart could be installed. This would make it a lot easier and faster to get from one end to another. I think I'll give it a spin right now. Woohoo! I took the minecart down to the other end of the escape tunnel and ventured out into the mountain biome again. I explored the diamond cave that Snow Leopard had shown me and mined even more diamonds. I used the escape tunnel and the minecart once again to take these back to my base, where I built my first pieces of diamond gear, a diamond chest plate, and an awesome diamond sword. I ended the 4 days by building additional levels and rooms to my underground base, in case we needed to help more beasts hide from the bounty hunter and the evil Plague Doctor. There's only one way out of this, and it's with all of us working together. On day 63 to day 66, Donkey came up to me with a clever idea.
Humans have been known to use boats to travel along the river in groups. Maybe if you follow the river along, you might be able to find one of their settlements, or even find your way to the bounty hunter's new lair.
Good idea, Donkey! I'll wait until nightfall, then the bounty hunter will never see me coming. So that's exactly what happened. I waited until nightfall, then I made my way out through the forest until I found the river. Then I just followed the river along. Suddenly, I got a spooky feeling, like something was waiting nearby, and turned to see a night apparition floating right behind me. I immediately pointed my crossbow at him, not wanting to take any chances.
Wait, I'm friendly. I just need your help.
Oh really? What's going on? I'm sorry for pointing my crossbow at you, by the way. I've had kind of a rough month.
It's okay, I understand. We're all a little jumpy with the bounty hunter's men hanging around.
Wait, the bounty hunter's men? Do you know where I can find them?
Of course. They chased me out of my home in a cave nearby.
I think they were looking for precious gemstones.
Then let's go fight them. I need some answers before it's too late.
Count me in.
So we ran to the nearest cave, ready for battle. On day 67 to 70, the night apparition and I ran into the cave he'd once called his home. The henchmen of the bounty hunter, 3 gold warriors, were already inside, mining at the walls with iron pickaxes. What are you goofballs doing? The 3 gold warriors suddenly turned to me and the night apparition and pulled out iron swords.
We're under strict orders from the bounty hunter to mine as many diamonds as possible. If you interfere, we will destroy you.
Why does the bounty hunter need so many diamonds? Is he really just that greedy?
No, he and his employer want all of their soldiers to have diamond swords. We'll all be stronger that way.
Oh, diamond swords like this? I pulled out my diamond sword and charged in. The gold warriors didn't hesitate to fight back. They were strong and well trained. But thankfully, I wasn't alone in this fight. The night apparition floated around the cave, distracting the gold warriors long enough for me to get the edge. Soon enough, I defeated all 3 with my trusty diamond blade. Thanks for the assist, night apparition.
Thank you for getting my home back. Feel free to take any of the diamonds those guys left behind.
Don't mind if I do. I mined the remaining diamonds and prepared to leave when the night apparition said one more thing to me.
I heard the Golden Warriors murmur something about coming from the Badlands when they first chased me out. I figured that might be useful information for you.
On day 71 to 74, I began following up on the lead that the night apparition had given me. If what the gold warriors said was true, I might have been able to find something I wanted there. And if what you want is more crazy Minecraft adventures like this one, search for more Zozo videos by searching ZO. By the time I arrived at the Badlands, the only structure I could see was a busted down looking camp. But that wasn't all. The bounty hunter was waiting for me.
I'm impressed. You shouldn't have survived.
I just started firing arrows at him from my crossbow, not even letting him finish his sentence. He somehow managed to dodge every single one.
Nice shots. Now it's my turn.
He pulled out his bow and fired a few arrows at me. But now, I had the Outback leggings on my side. With speed that impressed even him, I managed to dodge all of his arrows too. That all you got, bounty hunter? You're dealing with beast mode, Mr. Beast here. I pulled out my sword and ran at him. He just stood there, not even trying to dodge. But when I got close, he pulled out his close-ranged weapon, a battle axe. With one strike, he sent me skidding back across the Badlands, hitting me down to half a heart.
Guess you're not as strong as you think you are. What if 5 days left? You're gonna be mine before the time runs out.
Injured and surprised, I did the only thing I could, run off. I'd finish this another day. On day 75 to 78, I returned across the forest to my base. I built myself an extra room just for sitting around and relaxing, because after everything I'd experienced, I really needed to take a load off. That's when the snow leopard approached me, carrying a book. As you may have noticed, I sometimes dabble in a little bit of magic. I'm able to sense things other people can't. It's true, that is something I've noticed about you. Well, I've taken my skills in magic and used it to create this book. If you read it, you will finally unlock your true potential, and it will help you on your next steps to becoming the hero you were always meant to be. Wow, thank you, Snow Leopard. I'm honored. I took up the book and finally read it. I felt the change immediately, getting bigger, stronger, and getting an impressive 10 hearts. But more than that, I took a look into my inventory and found that it was stuffed with money. Snow Leopard, you did it! I'm finally Mr. Beast! On day 79 to 84, I went out to the desert to test out my new Mr. Beast powers. I soon encountered one of the most dangerous creatures in the desert, the sand and wind spirit known as the Guster. These things really packed a punch, but thankfully, so did I. I ran in with my diamond sword, feeling no fear, and destroyed the Guster in a single strike. Whoa, I really am strong now. My strength caught the attention of a nearby roadrunner who wanted to see if I was as fast as I was strong. He challenged me to a few races. You're on, roadrunner. We ran up and down a stretch of the desert together. I was faster than I expected, but he was way faster than that. It seemed that no matter how fast I went, the roadrunner was always just a little bit faster. But he still thought I gave him a good race, so when the race was over, he gave me a potion as a gift. A speed potion. Thanks, Roadrunner. Now I can run twice as fast. On days 85 to 89, I put my new speed to good use, running all the way back to my base, only to find that its secret entrance had been discovered, and it was being attacked by a group of villager beasts, just like the one that had attacked me in the abandoned mine. You guys aren't meant to be here. Wait, what about my friends? Thankfully, my hard work earlier had paid off. They'd all escaped through the minecart escape tunnel before the villager beasts could get to them. But those monsters were still destroying my base. I pulled out my diamond sword and ran to fight them. With my new strength and skill, the first one I attacked only took a few hits to defeat, and the rest started running. I'm not letting you guys get away this time. I started chasing them into the forest, but I was interrupted when a tiny rabbit asked for my help, finding his lost carrot. Okay, I'll help you find the carrot. Just know this really isn't a good time. While the villager beast ran away, I searched around until I found the rabbit's carrot behind a tree. I grabbed it and gave it back to him before continuing to chase the villager beasts into the distance. I was once again extremely thankful for my roadrunner speed. On days 90 to 94, the chase continued until I passed from the forest into the jungle. It was so hot and humid in there, I couldn't help but slow down a little. But this turned out to be exactly what the bad guys had planned. The villager beast had just been there to lure me to the plague doctor's most dangerous creation yet, the mutant zombie. Oh no, that thing is huge! I pulled out my crossbow and started blasting it as it ran towards me, but it still had no effect. All I could do was pull out my diamond sword and face it one-on-one. Time for an epic battle of mutant versus beast! On days 95 to 97, the mutant zombie charged me like a raging bull. I was able to dodge it just in time and stab it in the side with my diamond sword, but it barely seemed to faze it. Already, the mutant zombie turned and started attacking me again. Each one of its punches damaged me until I was low on hearts. I needed to do something, quickly. Hey, mutant zombie, how would you like some cold, hard cash? In true Mr. Beast style, I threw some of my vast collection of money onto the ground. The mutant zombie was immediately distracted and ran towards the cash. I guess the Elder Skulk was right. Money really does make the world go around sometimes. While he was distracted, I took advantage of my roadrunner speed and struck the mutant zombie again and again with all of my might, until finally it fell and was defeated. The mutant zombie only dropped one thing, a map, with exact directions to the Plague Doctor's laboratory, where I'd find him and the bounty hunter. 3 days left. It's time to end this. On day 98, I made my way back to my base to make the final preparations for my assault on the Plague Doctor's lab. As I prepared, my friends from around the base came to offer me some help or words of encouragement. First came the horses.
Thanks for giving us a place to stay. You're a real beast.
Next came the snow leopard.
You can do this. The prophecy has all been true up to this point. You will defeat the bounty hunter, destroy the plague doctor, and liberate the beasts.
And finally, my oldest friend, the donkey.
I made you something special to bring with you. Firework bolts. These will really make your crossbow pack a punch.
With everything said and done, it was time to make my way to the laboratory and save the day. On day 99, I crossed the forest, following the directions on the map left by the mutant zombie. On the way there, I passed a turtle, minding his own business in the forest.
Good luck. I believe in ya.
Thanks, turtle. I'm sure it'll be turtly fine in the end.
Okay, don't push it.
I kept walking, remaining stealthy, until I saw the Plague Doctor's laboratory in the distance. But this wouldn't be as easy as I thought. The building was surrounded by villager beasts. I loaded up one of my new firework rounds into my crossbow and prepared to fire. But if I missed my shot, would it lead the other one straight to me? I might have miscalculated here. That's when an unexpected old friend turned up. It was the young gazelle, who I'd saved months ago. She ran past the front of the laboratory, catching the attention of the villager beasts. They started chasing her, running away from the entrance of the laboratory. Finally, my chance! Using my roadrunner speed, I ran straight for the door. On day 100, I entered the laboratory, crossbow loaded and ready to fire. The laboratory was eerie. It was filled with cells containing more villager beasts, who must have been the failed experiments of the Plague Doctor.
Do you like what you see, young man?
I turned and saw the Plague Doctor, and of course, the bounty hunter waiting for me.
All these wonderful creations, but they're flawed, aren't they? But you can't make a delicious meal without the best quality ingredients. And for perfect human-beast hybrid, I need the ideal subject. Once my bounty hunter has defeated you, you will be that subject. It's why I put that bounty on you in the first place.
Day 100. You made it all the way. I hope that eases the pain of being defeated.
Not a chance, bounty hunter. I'm not just some pesky human. I'm Mr. Beast. The bounty hunter pulled out his bow and prepared to shoot, but I was quicker than he was. I fired a firework bolt at him, but I didn't wait up. I pulled out my diamond sword and ran at him, ready to land a lethal blow.
Bounty hunter, destroy!
The bounty hunter immediately pulled out his battle axe and parried the blow from my diamond sword. He was a formidable opponent.
You've gotten strong. I'm impressed.
We clashed weapons while the plague doctor watched. I needed to keep absolute focus in order to dodge or block every attack he threw at me. I was just waiting for a window. At the perfect moment, I pulled out my crossbow and fired one of the firework bolts at close range, right into the bounty hunter's chest. He was finally defeated.
You've won. Well done. Now finish me off.
What? No, I'm not gonna finish you off. I'm going to hire you. Just like Mr. Beast, I laid out stacks of money in front of him, even more than the bounty that the plague doctor had put on me.
Wow, that's a lot of money. What would you like for me to do, boss?
I want you to destroy this entire lab, take the plague doctor to jail, and retire.
I'll make it happen, boss.
What? You can't do that! No! No!
And with the bounty hunter now doing my job for me, I decided to do the most sensible thing, go back to my base and hang out with my friends. On day 1, I spawned in as Spidey, from Spidey and his amazing friends. I was surrounded by friendly spiders, who were bigger than me. Wow, I'm really small. I must be a baby version of Spidey. But where are my friends? None of the spiders got a chance to tell me, because the Green Goblin jumped out from behind a bush. There you are! Thought you could hide from me with all these spiders? Well, you were wrong, Spidey. Tag, you're it! Ha ha ha! He threw a pumpkin bomb, and I jumped out of the way just in time. But the other spiders were caught in the explosion. I was the only one who made it out okay. You're rotten, Green Goblin, rotten to the core. What are you doing here? You're asking the wrong questions, Spidey. You're asking why I'm here, but you should be asking, why isn't Spin here? Right, Spin, Miles Morales, my friend. Why isn't he here? What did you do with him? That's for me to know, and you to find out. If you want to get him back, you'll need to come and find me and beat me in a fight. If you can't find my hideout in 100 days, I'll make sure you never see your little buddy again. He threw another pumpkin bomb and disappeared, leaving me alone with my thoughts. Oh no, that evil villain kidnapped Spin, and I only have 100 days to get him back. If I'm going to fight the Green Goblin and win, I need to get a whole lot stronger first. On day 2, I decided to get out of the plains and into a new location. With all of the spiders gone, I was completely on my own. And there's nothing for me to climb or swing from out here. I need some tall buildings or some trees. So I headed into the forest. I already had 10 hearts. I sure hope I don't run into any trouble out here. I must have jinxed myself because a group of gremlins came out from behind a bunch of trees and started closing in around me. Hey, why are you bothering me? I didn't do anything to you.
You didn't have to. We're here on orders from the Green Goblin. He wanted us to deliver something to you in person. A beatdown.
Uh-oh, I'm not strong enough to take on all of these enemies at once.
Let's get 'em, boys.
The gremlins were getting closer, and I couldn't see anywhere to run. Was this it? Was I already going to lose on my second day?
Hey, pick on someone your own size.
I looked towards the voice, and I saw Rabbit skiing towards the gremlins. He skied right into them, breaking through the circle, and I was able to run away before they could get to me. When I finally stopped running, I noticed the rabbit was right behind me. Thanks for the help.
No problem. I can't stand bullies. My name is Harry.
Hi, Harry. I'm Spidey, but you can call me Zozo. On day 3, Harry the skiing rabbit took me back to his home with him in the underground rabbit burrow. It was really nice of him, especially since I didn't have a base of my own yet. Now I have a safe place to rest for a little while where the Green Goblin wouldn't bother me. Thanks, Harry. This is so nice.
No problem, Zozo. Hey, there's someone I want you to meet. He knows a lot about the Green Goblin, and I think he can help you out.
He took me to the burrow of a Giza rabbit.
Hello. I understand you're going up against the Green Goblin. A nasty fellow.
Don't I know it?
Well, forgive me for saying so, but you won't get far like that. You need some tools, some weapons, and you need to get a whole lot stronger.
I know, but where should I start?
The forest to the north has lots of wood. Go gather some so you can start making tools. You'll need to be well equipped with the strongest tools you can find, as well as an open heart and an adventurous spirit. It takes a hero to defeat a villain, and if you really try, you can become the hero that takes down the Green Goblin once and for all.
That sounded like a whole lot of work, but as I thought about all the spiders the Green Goblin hurt and thought about Spin being held prisoner somewhere, I knew it was worth it. I guess I'd better get right to it then. First things first, I need to go gather that wood.
You'd better go with him, Harry. We all need a friend in tough times, and Zozo has quite the journey ahead of him.
Okay, let's go, Zozo!
On days 4 and 5, Harry and I went out into the northern forest to start gathering wood. There was no time to waste, so I started punching as many trees as I could. After I gathered enough wood, I built a crafting bench and crafted a set of wooden tools. Hooray! Now I can start gathering stone.
You're doing awesome so far.
Thanks, but I think this is the easy part. It'll only get harder from here.
I'll be here to help every step of the way. Every hero needs a sidekick, right?
That's true, but enough talking for now. I've got to get enough stone to upgrade my tools. I got to work, and once I had enough stone, I upgraded all of my tools from wooden ones to stone ones. Ready to help me build a base? We need a secret hideout if I'm gonna be a real superhero.
Yeah!
We started building the base and made sure to add a room for me and another room for Harry, so we both had somewhere to sleep. While we were building, a tarantula hawk flew up and started attacking me. What's the big idea? I couldn't let it get me, not when I was finally making progress, and I definitely wouldn't let it hurt Harry. The fight wasn't easy, but I won. And afterward, I felt myself getting stronger. Hey, I gained a heart.
You're one step closer to being a superhero.
Yeah! On days 6 through 8, I explored more of the forest. I wanted to see what other resources I could use to build my base, or if there was any useful item someone might have dropped. As I was getting ready to pick some apples from a tree, I heard someone yelling.
Help! Somebody, help!
Sounds like someone needs a hero. I ran toward the sound of the voice, and I saw a raccoon being attacked by a pack of wolves. Don't worry, I'll help you. I'm your friendly neighborhood Zozo. As soon as the wolves saw me coming, they left the raccoon alone and ran at me. They snapped their jaws, trying to bite me and scratch me with their claws. But I dodged their attacks, and I hit them back with my stone sword. Ha! You're no match for me. I'm getting pretty good at this fighting to defend the innocent thing. After a while, I tired them out, and the wolves ran off and left me and the raccoon alone.
Thank you so much. You saved my life.
No problem. I'm Zozo.
My name is May. I'm sorry to bother you, but you're such a strong fighter. Would you help me with something else?
Helping is what I do.
I'm so glad. Then please, come with me to the swamp. There's a nasty bad guy there I need help with.
Lead the way. On days 9 and 10, May led me to the swamp to help deal with her problem. So, what's the deal with this swamp?
I was staying here when this big, mean ogre came in and started stomping around and telling me to get out. He broke my house apart and told me that this was his swamp now and I needed to get out. But all of my things are still here and I don't want to just abandon them.
Oh geez, that does sound like a lot of trouble. I'll do whatever I can to help.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad I found you.
What are you doing in my swamp?
The ogre jumped out, roaring and running right at us. He was much bigger than me, but I couldn't back down. I drew my sword and got ready to fight him. This isn't your swamp. You can't just kick people out.
I can do whatever I want. I'm the biggest, baddest ogre in the swamp, which means it all belongs to me.
You can't take things from people just because you're bigger and stronger.
Who's gonna stop me?
Me! I ran at him with my sword, but he grabbed me and lifted me into the air. Then he threw me. I landed hard and got the wind knocked out of me. Uh-oh, he might be too strong. He was getting ready to grab me again, and I swiped at him with my sword. He knocked the sword out of my hand, and it went flying. I had to run and grab it, and I knew if I tried to fight this ogre right now, I would lose. Let's get out of here, May. We'll go back to my base, and when I'm strong enough, I'll come back. I promise.
Okay, thank you for trying.
I didn't want to run away, but I can't save the day if I let myself get beaten by an ogre. So even though it wasn't fun to leave the fight, it was better that May and I were safe. On days 11 and 12, I brought May back to my base. I built her a room of her own with a chest and a crafting bench.
Thank you so much, both of you.
Of course. Stay as long as you like.
We're happy to have you. I was meaning to ask, do you know anything about the Green Goblin?
That monster? I sure do.
He kidnapped a friend of mine, and I'm trying to learn more about him.
I'm pretty sure he lives underground somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but I've heard a lot of rumors about his underground cave hideout. If you can find out where he is, and you're strong enough to fight him, you might be able to use the element of surprise to help you defeat him.
Underground, huh? That's really helpful. Thank you, May.
Of course. The Green Goblin is terrible, and I'd be happy to see someone finally take him down.
After I talked with May, I decided to add some food sources to my base. I know, I think I saw some chickens in the woods. Yes. So I built a fence to contain the chickens, then I went out looking for them. There you are. Come with me, chickens. I'll show you your new home. I herded the chickens back to the base and got them all set up in the fenced area. Then I cut down some grass and planted some wheat at the base. Now we'll have plenty of food, and I learned more about the Green Goblin. What a successful day! On days 13 to 15, I decided to find some ways to get stronger, so I turned to Harry for advice.
I think the best way to get stronger is to get some more experience. Explore new areas, go on some quests, fight more enemies. You can't learn if you don't put yourself out there, and upgrading your tools probably won't hurt either.
That's a great idea, thank you! If I was going to upgrade my tools, I needed to get mining. I mined some coal and some iron too. I raced back to my base to make a furnace. Then I smelted the iron and used it to craft all iron tools. Great! Now time to explore. Where can I go? I should go somewhere really different from anywhere I've been so far. I know, I'll go to the ice spikes. So I gathered all of my new tools and headed off to the ice spikes. Brr, it's getting cold. I'm not used to this weather. Maybe I should have brought some more supplies with me.
Maybe you should've, but you didn't, because you're weak, and you'll never beat the Green Goblin.
Who said that? I looked up and saw a green golem standing on top of a tall ice spike.
I did. The boss sent me to check on your progress, and he's gonna laugh so hard when he hears about all this. But first, I think I'll teach you a lesson about trying to be a hero when you're really just a zero.
Then he jumped down from the ice spike and landed right in front of me. But I was ready for him, and I had my brand new iron sword ready to go. Not so fast. He ran at me, and I swung my sword. He tried to hit me, but I dodged and attacked again. It was a pretty tough fight, but I managed to win in the end. After I defeated him, I noticed he dropped something. Cool, an explosive bottle. I can use this to fight the Green Goblin. I was so excited to show my friends what I found that I ran all the way back to my base. Harry was waiting for me.
You should build an armory to keep your weapons.
Great idea! So I built an armory, and after I did, I felt myself getting stronger. Whoa, I gained 2 hearts. On days 16 to 19, I decided to follow Harry's advice and keep exploring to get more experience. Maybe I'll find something else that will help me beat the Green Goblin, or make a new friend. As I was looking around, I found an abandoned house. Anyone here? No one answered, so I let myself inside to have a look around. It was totally empty, except for a chest. I opened the chest and found an old book. I guess I'll read it. Superheroes should always take the time to read every now and again. As I read the book, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Whoa, so the Green Goblin is really Norman Osborn, the scientist. That's why he's so good at making those pumpkin bombs. I can't believe it. But it's in a book, so it must be true. Maybe this information will help me later. I grabbed the book to take with me and left the house to head back to my base. As I did, I saw the gremlins from before. Not you guys again.
You better believe it, Spidey.
The gremlins rushed at me, and I fought them off with my sword. When they realized they were outmatched, they started to run away.
This ain't the last you'll see of us, or the Green Goblin.
Tell your boss I'm getting stronger every day, and I'm coming to get my friend. I couldn't believe it. I beat the gremlins on my own this time. I was really starting to feel like a superhero who could defeat the villain and save the day. I wasn't quite ready yet, but I had already come so far. On days 20 to 22, I looked for some more bad guys to fight in the forest around my base. I wanted to get stronger and keep my friends safe at the same time. A mutant spider pig attacked May while she was looking for food, and I rushed in to save the day. Get away from her! I swung my sword and defeated the mutant spider pig easily.
I was so much stronger than I was on my first day. I think I'm finally ready to take on the ogre and get your stuff back.
Are you sure? He's so scary.
I am. I just need to make some armor first. I gathered some more iron and crafted myself some shiny new iron armor. With this on, he won't be able to hurt me. I made my journey back to the swamp where the mean old ogre was waiting for me.
Back for more, are ya? I'll be happy to beat you again if you didn't learn your lesson the first time.
He grabbed me just like he did before, but when he threw me, my armor protected me from getting hurt. Nice try, but I'm ready for you this time. He was so surprised that he didn't have time to dodge my attack. I got him with my sword, then I hit him again. This time, he was the one who got knocked over.
Oh, fine, take what you came for. Just leave before the Green Goblin finds out you're here. He's scared of how strong you're getting, and he's not afraid to cheat and have someone else take you out before you find his hideout.
Whoa, so he's actually getting nervous.
Don't get too confident. You're still nowhere near tough enough to beat him. Just go.
So I grabbed a chest full of May's things, and I headed back to my base. On days 23 to 26, I returned to my base and went to find May. Here you go, I got this back for you.
Oh, thank you so much. It has everything I own inside. I was so scared that I lost it all after that ogre destroyed my house. Can I stay here for a little while though, before I find a new place to live?
Stay as long as you like.
Have you ever thought about building a guard tower to keep the base safe in case the Green Goblin sends any goons this way?
That's a great idea. I got to work building a guard tower, and when I was finished, I felt much safer. But I needed some ranged weapons to go with the guard tower, so I gathered flint, feathers, and string, and crafted a bow and arrows. Then May came over to talk to me, and she was holding something.
I found this in my chest of items, and I wanted to give it to you. My way of saying thanks for all of your help.
What is it?
A newspaper. It's enchanted. I think it might be useful for you.
Whoa, thank you so much! With my enchanted newspaper, my new guard tower, and my bow and arrow, I was feeling more prepared than ever. On days 27 to 31, I decided to get back to exploring and looking for new ways to get stronger. I hiked out to the Badlands to see what I could find. While I was exploring, I saw some tarantulas stuck in a hole. I'll get you guys out of there, just hold on. I helped them all climb out, and then I sent them back to my base so they would have a safe place to stay for a while. Spiders have to stick together. After I helped the tarantulas, I looked around the Badlands some more. There weren't any enemies to fight, but there was a lot of terracotta. This looks cool. I'll gather some for my base. I got as much terracotta as I could take with me and went back to my base to decorate with it. I worked hard on creating a beautiful terracotta floor in my room, and when it was finished, I kicked back and ate a snack. But I couldn't rest for very long.
Zozo, I need your help.
I sprung into action. What's wrong?
There's trouble in the rabbit burrow. We have to go help them.
Let's go. On days 32 to 35, Harry and I went back to the underground rabbit burrow to check things out and help save the rabbits there. When we got there, we saw a bunch of the Green Goblin's gremlins attacking and throwing pumpkin bombs. They were destroying everything. Not so fast. Don't worry, rabbits. Your friendly neighborhood Spidey Zozo is here to help.
What are you gonna do about it?
I drew my sword. Remember this? They looked pretty nervous, and I started slashing left and right, taking down as many gremlins as I could. I thought I'd beaten all of them, but there was one more hiding behind a nearby wall. Before I could get to him, he pulled out another pumpkin bomb and threw it right at the Giza rabbit who helped me before. No! But it was too late. The gremlin blew him up. You'll pay for this! I took down the last gremlin fast, but I didn't feel any better. I was so upset about the Giza rabbit.
It's not your fault. It's the Green Goblin. He did this.
You're right, Harry, and we're gonna make sure he never hurts anyone else again. On days 36 to 39, I decided to head to the beach and see if I could find anything useful there. I needed all the strength and weapons I could get if I was going to beat the Green Goblin before he could strike again.
Are there any heroes out here? Please, I need help.
A hero? That's me! Who said that? I can help!
Me!
I looked over and I saw a walrus sitting on the sand. What's wrong?
Out there in the water is my favorite rock to sit on when I want to catch a few rays. But when I try to sit there now, there's a mean octopus who keeps attacking me and trying to pull me into the water.
That's not very nice. You wait here, friend. I'll go teach that octopus some manners.
Be careful, he's very smart.
It's okay. I'm pretty smart too. I swam out to the walrus's favorite rock and waited for the octopus to try and mess with me. Wow, what a nice rock. I sure hope no one tries to pull me into the water. But I did hope someone would try, and I was ready. I didn't think I could fight in the water while trying to swim at the same time, so I would have to be able to fight from a distance. Good thing I crafted a ranged weapon. I grabbed my bow and arrow and waited. Sure enough, that pesky octopus showed up and tried to grab me. Before he could, I fired my arrow at him, a direct hit. He tried to grab me again, so I fired a few more arrows for good measure until I was sure I had won. Then I swam back to the shore to give the walrus the good news.
Thank you so much. Are you the hero that's trying to take on the Green Goblin?
I sure am.
Well, here's some advice. I heard he's strong, but not very fast. That's why he throws those pumpkin bombs. If you can avoid his bombs, it'll be easier to get him.
Thanks so much. I'll remember that. On days 40 to 43, I returned home to my base. It was looking a little bit dull, so I decided to spruce up the place with some torches for extra light and to keep any zombies away. As I was finishing up, Harry came to see me.
Say, this looks great!
Thanks.
Do you think we could make room for some more guests to stay here? I met some squirrels in the woods who said the Green Goblin blew up the tree they were living in. I thought maybe we could help them out.
Sure, the more the merrier. Hey, let's build them a treehouse, then they'll feel right at home. Harry and I got to work, and before long, we built a great treehouse for the squirrels to live in. Then Harry went to get the squirrels and show them their new home. It felt good to help more people in need. It was a nice reminder that being a hero isn't just about beating bad guys, it's about helping those who need it. The tarantulas came to see me after I finished the treehouse, and then they told me that they heard a rumor about some baby spiders that were being held prisoner in a nearby cave. Well, I couldn't let that happen. I promised them I would go over there and rescue those baby spiders. On days 44 to 49, I traveled to the cave the tarantulas told me about to save those poor kidnapped baby spiders. When I got there, I couldn't see any baby spiders anywhere. I looked all over the place, but there weren't any spiders in that cave. Huh, that's weird.
You fell for my trap, Spidey. Ha 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 ha!
The Green Goblin jumped out from behind a rock.
There aren't any baby spiders here. It was a lie. But I knew that would get you to come here. Poor little hero with no one to save. Too bad, so sad.
You're scum, Green Goblin.
Oh, you wound me. You're running out of time, Spidey. Too bad you won't be able to save your buddy Spin before I blow him up. And when I'm done, I'll go to your base in the forest and blow that up too. That's right, I know where you've been hiding.
Why are you doing this?
Because I can. Wish I could stay and chat, but I've gotta run. I'll leave you with some company though. Oh, minion!
A huge earth elemental came into the cave.
Bye, Spidey.
The Green Goblin ran away and disappeared, leaving me alone with the earth elemental. He looked pretty tough. Uh-oh. I had no choice. If I wanted to get out of there and get back to my base, I was gonna have to fight him. On days 50 to 53, I did my best to fight the Earth Elemental. He was a lot bigger than me, but I wasn't about to back down or let myself get scared. I stared him down and got ready. The Earth Elemental ran at me and knocked me back into the cave wall. But luckily, I had my armor on and it didn't take too much damage. I jumped back onto my feet and ran at the Earth Elemental with my sword. I got a few good hits in before he knocked me back again. Next, I climbed up onto a rock and shot an arrow at him. It hit, and while he was recovering, I jumped back down and rushed up to deliver a finishing blow. He went down, and I was the winner! Woohoo! I did it! I really am turning into a superhero. Wait, what's this? There was a book on the ground. I picked it up and started to read. The Notes of Norman Osborn. I hate spiders so much. One day I'll find a way to get rid of every spider in the world, and then I can finally be happy once they're gone. I'm so glad I found this underground cavern to build my laboratory and basin. It's the perfect place to do my work. So the Green Goblin hates spiders. That's why he's after me and why he took Spin. That's despicable. So his lair is in an underground cavern. There's a drawing of a map here showing where it is. I'm one step closer to defeating him once and for all. On days 54 to 57, I returned to the forest and started making my way back to the base. I've got to tell my friends what I've learned. But as I was walking, I heard someone crying for help. I followed the sound, and there was some baby spiders in a cage. Oh no, there really are some baby spiders in trouble. Hold on, little guys, I'll save you. I ran to let them out of the cage, but I couldn't find a key. Then a phantom swooped down on me. I was ready though, and I slashed at it with my sword until it went down. I saw that the phantom dropped the key, and also a blast protection enchantment. Awesome! This'll help keep me safe from the pumpkin bombs. I took the key and let the baby spiders out of the cage. Be free! Then I went back to my base to let the tarantulas know that I managed to help out the baby spiders. Then I told them all about what I found out about the Green Goblin and his lair. I showed them the map, and they recognized where the caverns were. They promised to help me find the caverns when I was ready to finally have my showdown against the villain. On days 58 to 62, I decided to plant some more crops so that we could have more food at the base. I went into the forest and gathered melons, then planted a bunch of melon seeds next to my wheat. Next, I decided it was finally time to upgrade my gear again. I went back down into the mine where I found my iron and started looking for some diamonds. It took a while and a lot of hard work, but finally I found some. Sweet! Time to craft some diamond gear. I was able to use the new materials to craft a diamond sword. After that was done, I expanded the base and added some more rooms, including a bedroom for Spin. After all, he's gonna need somewhere to stay when I finally rescue him. On days 63 to 66, the squirrels came up to talk to me. They told me that I might be able to find some useful materials at the stone shores. So naturally, I decided to head out there and see what I could find. When I arrived there, I couldn't see much of anything that would help me beat the Green Goblin. I was starting to feel discouraged. Then, I saw a stone monster coming toward me. Oh no, I guess I have to fight this guy now. But to my surprise, he didn't want to fight. He just wanted my help getting rid of a mean mutant creeper that took over the cove and killed his uncle, Ben. I'm so sorry that happened. Of course I'll help. I asked him to show me where he last saw the mutant creeper, and he pointed me in the right direction. A hero's work is never done. I guess with great power comes great responsibility, but I'm ready for it anyway. On day 67 to 70, I traveled to the part of the cove that the mutant creeper had taken over. I could get more fighting experience and help someone at the same time. Just another day of being a superhero. Come on out, you mean mutant creeper. I'm here to dispense some justice. As soon as it heard me, the mutant creeper came out of hiding and rushed at me to attack. It came at me and started hitting me, but I countered with my sword and my armor protected me from the damage. I knew I had to defeat it before it had a chance to charge up or explode, so I had to work fast, faster than I ever had before in a fight. It was hard, but I managed to take down the mutant creeper before it could blow up. Whew, that was a close one. Then I went back to the stone monster. That mutant creeper won't be bothering you ever again. All in a day's work for an up-and-coming superhero. On day 71 to 74, I traveled to the desert to gather some sandstone. As I was walking, I noticed an unusual rock formation. It spelled out, if you're enjoying this adventure, find more Zozo videos by searching for Zozo. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Wow, nature really is amazing. Now back to what I was doing.
Having a nice little desert stroll, eh, Spidey?
The Green Goblin suddenly appeared. I wasn't expecting to fight you so soon, but I guess there's no time like the present.
Watching you lose will be a gift.
I drew my sword and got ready to fight. The Green Goblin tossed a pumpkin bomb at me, and I had to dodge, but I got caught in the blast. Ouch! I lost a few hearts. I hate to admit it, but I'm still not strong enough. I need to get out of here. So that I would live to fight another day, I ran away as fast as I could before he could attack again. That was a close one. On day 75 to 78, I ran back to my base with some of the stone I managed to gather before the Green Goblin attacked me. I built a stone wall around the whole base. Awesome, this is looking great. At least something good came out of my trip to the desert. When I finished building the wall, Harry the Rabbit came up to me.
Zozo, I found something, and I wanted to give it to you as a present. Thanks for everything you've done for me. You're a great friend and a real hero. Here you go. It's a cobweb.
Whoa, thanks! I took the cobweb, and it reminded me of my Spidey strength and everything I had accomplished so far. I felt myself growing bigger, and I gained 3 more hearts. On days 79 to 84, I decided to try out my new strength and bigger size by fighting some bad guys. If I wanted to push myself, a good way to do that would be to fight in the cold. So I went out to the snowy tundra to look for some mobs I could fight to keep everyone a little bit safer. I didn't have to look for very long before I found some gremlins bullying a snowy goat. Hey, stop that!
Who's gonna stop us?
Me!
Oh yeah, we're so scared.
They didn't know how much stronger I was, so they weren't ready for how much better I was at fighting. It didn't take long before I beat them. I asked the snowy goat if he wanted to come back to my base and stay there for a while.
No thanks, I'm good. Could you walk me home though? It's just near here.
Sure. So I walked with the snowy goat until we reached his house.
You seem like a nice kid. Here, take this. Maybe it'll be of some use to you.
Then he gave me a vine lasso. This is great, thanks. Now I can attack the Green Goblin from a distance. Saving people is its own reward, but it's also pretty nice to get a gift every now and then. On days 85 to 89, I went back to my base. When I got there, I saw there were gremlins attacking.
Let's burn this place down before Spidey gets back.
Too late, I'm already here.
Uh-oh.
The gremlins ran away, but I chased after them. Hey, I've gotten faster. Before too long, I had almost caught up to them, but I was stopped by the Ragnarok.
Please help. Those nasty gremlins stole my falconry hood. I need it for my favorite eagle.
Don't worry, I'll get it back for you. Using my newly increased speed, I chased after the gremlins and caught up to them. Once I did, I beat them quickly and grabbed the falconry hood to take back to the Ragnarok. Here you go.
Thank you so much.
It's what I do. On days 90 to 94, I followed the gremlin footprints into the deep forest. This must be where they were hiding out before they attacked my base.
Oh look, it's Spidey. Come to lose another fight.
There was a gremlin chef waiting for me. Do I know you?
Oh, but you should. I'm the Green Goblin's top henchman. The guy who handles all of his biggest problems. And you're a pretty big problem. A bug that needs to be squashed.
He looked pretty tough, but I wasn't about to back down from this fight. I had to prove that I could take on the Green Goblin, so I needed to beat his right-hand man first. Let's do this! On days 95 to 97, I fought as hard as I could against the Gremlin Chef. At first, it was not going very well. He was dodging all of my attacks, one after another. Man, this guy's tough.
Might as well give up now, Spidey. You'll never beat me, and you'll never beat the Green Goblin.
But I thought about Spin and everyone else who the Green Goblin was putting in danger, and I knew I couldn't give up. I grabbed the vine lasso and threw it at the Gremlin Chef. It caught him. I was able to get him still enough to land a hit, and then the fight started to turn around. Finally, I knocked him down for good. As I was getting ready to leave, I noticed that he dropped something on the ground. Cave centipede leggings. I decided to put them on and see what they would do. I went back to my base and realized I could now climb up walls. This is perfect. I'll be able to use this to avoid the Green Goblin's pumpkin bombs and be faster than him. This is just what I needed. On day 98, I was back at my base and practicing climbing walls with my new cave centipede leggings. When I stopped to take a break, Harry came up to talk to me.
I just wanted to say, you've turned into an amazing hero, Zozo. I'm so glad I met you. If anyone can beat the Green Goblin, it's you.
Thank you. Next, May came up to see me. She brought me some diamond armor.
I spent the last few days making this for you. I hope you can use it when you take on the Green Goblin.
This is amazing. Thank you so much. Then the squirrels and the tarantulas thanked me for everything I had done for them. The tarantulas said that even though I wasn't a real spider, they considered me one of their own anyway. It really meant a lot to me. I was feeling braver and stronger than ever, with all of my friends by my side. On day 99, I asked the tarantulas to give me directions to the Green Goblin's underground lair. They told me where to go, and I headed out. It was now or never. As I was making my way toward the caverns, a cockroach scuttled past me.
You can do it!
Thanks, cockroach. I wasn't sure how she knew what I was doing, but I appreciated the encouragement anyway. Finally, I reached the Green Goblin's cavern lair, but the outside was crawling with green golems standing guard. Oh no, how am I gonna get inside?
I'll help you.
It was the walrus I saved from the octopus.
I'll take care of these guys. You get inside and get to the Green Goblin.
On day 100, it was finally time for me to face off against the biggest, baddest villain around, the Green Goblin. I was pretty scared, but I also knew how far I'd come and how many people believed in me.
So, you made it! Such a shame you came all this way just to die.
He threw a pumpkin bomb at me, but I dodged it and climbed up a nearby wall. I learned some new tricks, Goblin.
They won't be enough to beat me.
We'll see about that. From my place on the wall, I shot an arrow at him. He dodged it, but I jumped down and swung at him with my sword, and it hit him. Then I ran back up the wall and got ready to attack from a distance again.
I wouldn't shoot any more arrows at me if I were you. Look what I have.
And he had Spin there with him, tied up. I had to get Spin out of the way so he wouldn't get hurt when I attacked the Green Goblin. I thought quickly and used my vine lasso to pull Spin toward me and out of the way, just as the Green Goblin threw another pumpkin bomb. Then I remembered, I had the explosive bottle. I could beat the Green Goblin at his own game. Let's get out of here, Spin.
Running away, are you?
Nope, just getting far enough to do this. I threw the explosive bottle at the Green Goblin. Then I got out of there as fast as I could. Boom! The cavern exploded, and I knew the Green Goblin was gone once and for all. I finally had my friend back, and the land was saved. All thanks to your friendly neighborhood Zozo.